Chapter 1449. Star. Constellation Realm. Just how many trump cards does he have? Wenchang was stunned when he sensed the change in Mo Qingyun's aura. His mind went blank. Mo Qingyun's method of raising his cultivation had completely shattered his understanding. From what he knew, there seemed to be no one who could raise their cultivation like Mo Qingyun. However, while Wenchang was shocked, he was also overjoyed. If Mo Qingyun defeats Elder Lu Ren and resolves the danger before us, he might be able to help our Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold resolve the danger from the 9 great immortal gates. The eyes of the surrounding Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold brightened when they heard Wenchang's words. Expressions of anticipation appeared on their faces. With Mo Qingyun's current constellation realm cultivation and the dozens of specters at the peak of major constellation realm, it would be too easy to destroy the 9 great immortal gate. Your cultivation has reached the constellation realm? Elder Lu Ren was shocked when he discovered that Mo Qingyun's aura had reached a level similar to his own. Immediately after, he withdrew the contempt in his eyes when he looked at Mo Qingyun. The current Mo Qingyun was already a great threat to him. He had to deal with him carefully. He didn't want to fail miserably at such an easy task because of his carelessness. Although your cultivation has reached the constellation realm, I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to raise your cultivation with the help of external forces, right? Elder Lu Ren had a serious expression on his face as he sneered. He seemed to be testing Mo Qingyun, but at the same time, he seemed to be comforting himself. Elder Lu Ren was now hoping that even if Mo Qingyun raised his cultivation by force, he would not be able to control this power as he wished. You'll know very soon whether I can control it or not. Mo Qingyun's expression was calm as he replied indifferently. He then took the initiative to attack Elder Lu Ren. The sealed door. A miniature version of the light gate quickly formed in Mo Qingyun's palm. It turned into a stream of light and blasted towards Elder Lu Ren. When he saw the sealed door's attack, Elder Lu Ren's face went cold, and he snorted coldly. Humph. Since you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, don't blame this old man for being ruthless. Break! Lu Wei roared angrily. He raised his hand and blasted at the sealed door, blasting out a violent immortal spiritual energy. This wave of immortal spiritual energy shot out from Lu Wei's palm and turned into a huge saber shadow, instantly swallowing the sealed door. However, to everyone's surprise, the sealed door was completely undamaged after receiving Lu Zhang's attack. The sealed door penetrated Lu Zhang's palm shadow. Its attack speed did not decrease at all, and in the blink of an eye, it blasted into Lu Zhang's body. Puff! After being hit by the sealed door, Lu Jiang immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face became somewhat pale. Seeing Lu Jiang's performance, the surrounding people's expressions changed drastically. Their hearts were beating like wave. Elder Lu Ren is injured. He was actually defeated in just one exchange. What kind of monster is this Mo Qingyun? When did such a person appear in the 3 immortal domains? He's too monstrous. No wonder the geniuses of the various factions in the 3 immortal domains were killed by Mo Qingyun. With this Mo Qingyun's talent, if he were to cultivate for another 100 years, he would be unmatched in the 3 immortal domains. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, everyone's evaluation of him in their hearts rose several levels. However, before everyone could recover from the shock in their hearts, their expressions became even more shocked. This was because they realized that the aura emitted by Lu Jiang was rapidly weakening. Elder Lu Ren's aura is weakening. Could it be because of Mo Qingyun's attack? Pang Weisheng was startled when he sensed Lu Jiang's aura weakening. He quickly went to Lu Jiang and asked, "Elder Lu Jiang, are you all right?" Lu Jiang wore a heavy expression when he heard Pang Weisheng's question. He glanced at Mo Qingyun in fear and said, "The kid's attack contains a terrifying sealing force. It greatly suppresses my bloodline and soul. I'm afraid I won't be able to kill him with my current strength." Even you won't be able to kill him. Pang Weiqing shuddered when he heard Lu Jiang's words. He could feel his head buzzing. Was there really no hope for their Pang clan? While Lu Jiang and Pang Weiqing were talking, Mo Qingyun made his move and charged at Lu Jiang again. Xiaozhe Heavenly Spirit Finger. In action Heaven Shrouding Finger. Middle Finger of Destruction. Upper Devouring Spirit Finger. Great Sky Demon Tribe. While Mo Qingyun was charging at Lu Jiang and Pang Weiqing threw out a few finger attacks, blasting out waves of terrifying celestial spiritual energy. The waves of celestial spiritual energy blasted out from Mo Qingyun's fingers and turned into giant fingers with terrifying auras. The speed of these giant fingers was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, they approached Lu Jiang from different directions, sealing off his escape route. Lu Jiang's expression changed when he saw the giant fingers attacking him. He quickly grabbed Pang Weiqing beside him and used him as a shield. He said, "Patriarch Pang, I'm sorry. I'll have to trouble you to block Mo Qingyun's attack for me." Elder Lu Jiang, seeing Lu Jiang's action, Pang Weiqing's face was filled with shock and fear. Lu Jiang was too shameless. In order to save his own life, he had sacrificed him as a shield. Bang bang bang! Before Pang Weiqing could finish his words, the giant fingers with threatening auras blasted his body. After being hit by the giant fingers, Pang Weiqing's eyes widened and his gaze became unfocused. Apart from that, Pang Weiqing's body also emitted bursting sounds, as if his blood vessels had burst. The moment he was hit by the giant fingers, Pang Weiqing's soul left his body without hesitation and escaped the fatal attack. After Pang Weiqing's soul left his body, his face was filled with hatred. He looked at Lu Jiang and roared furiously, "Old dog Lu Jiang, you despicable and shameless villain. You'll die a horrible death." Bang! While Pang Weiqing was cursing Lu Jiang was also hit by a violent force and was instantly sent flying. After seeing this, Pang Weiqing was stunned. He was very surprised by this scene. Didn't he block all of Mo Qingyun's attacks? Why was Lu Jiang still attacked? Looking at Lu Jiang's current state, the power of the attack seemed to be even stronger than Pang Weiqing's. After a brief moment of shock and confusion, Pang Weiqing revealed a carefree smile and laughed gloatingly. "Old dog Lu Jiang, you didn't expect this, did you? Even if I used my body to block the attack, you would still be attacked. You're courting death." Hearing Pang Weiqing's mocking words, Lu Jiang's face darkened. He angrily blasted a palm at Pang Weiqing. Pang Weiqing seemed to have expected Lu Jiang to make such a move. He quickly dodged to the side and prepared to leave this troublesome place. However, before Pang Weiqing could escape too far, he was blocked by a few ghosts. Chapter 1450. Mo Qingyun, my physical body has already been destroyed. What else do you want? Pang Weiqing questioned Mo Qingyun with a terrified expression when he saw that his path was blocked. Hearing Pang Weiqing's words, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He smiled faintly and said, "Pang Weiqing, Lu Jiang caused your physical body to be destroyed. Don't you want to see how he dies in my hands?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Pang Weiqing's expression immediately changed. His eyes revealed a cold expression. "Old dog Lu Jiang, do you think that you can survive by using my body to block Mo Qingyun's attack?" Pang Weiqing's face revealed a look of disdain as he mocked. He gloated and said, "Now I want to see how you will be killed by Mo Qingyun." "Ha ha, humph. Pang Weiqing, it's too early for you to be happy. Between me and this kid, it's still unknown who will kill who." Hearing Pang Weiqing's proud words, Lu Jiang smiled coldly and retorted. However, when Lu Jiang said this, his tone clearly did not have much confidence. Presumably, after seeing Mo Qingyun's methods, he did not have much confidence in defeating Mo Qingyun. While Pang Weiqing and Lu Jiang were talking, Mo Qingyun's figure moved and charged towards Lu Jiang. "Old dog, Now that Pang Wei Xing is not here to block the attack for you, I want to see how you will block my attack. Heavenly Flames Sky-Breaking Halberd. Emo Qingyun swung his halberd. A terrifying flame, spiritual energy blasted out and turned into a giant dragon halberd light. After this dragon shadow halberd light was formed, it disappeared in a flash and rapidly shot towards Lu Jiang. Immortal Technique, Tortoise Spiritual Energy Technique. Facing Emo Qingyun's halberd, Lu Jiang did not dare to be careless. He quickly formed a hand seal. After the hand seal was formed, it turned into a whirlpool of light waves and crazily spun and grew stronger. In a short moment, the hand seal turned into a whirlpool shield and blocked in front of Lu Jiang. Bang! When the fire dragon halberd collided with the whirlpool shield, it let out an earth-shattering sound and created a terrifying spiritual energy storm. Seeing this spiritual energy storm appear, Emo Qingyun and Lu Jiang flashed away to avoid being engulfed by this spiritual energy storm. While Emo Qingyun and Yi Zichen were avoiding the spiritual energy storm, in the distant universe, two planets suddenly emitted a bright light. Light bloomed on these two planets, and they turned into two beams of light that pierced through the endless starry sky in the blink of an eye. Immediately, the crowd saw two dazzling beams of light, one for Emo Qingyun and the other for a moment. With the support of these two light beams, the aura emitted by Emo Qingyun and his companion immediately rose to an astonishing level. With the support of the unparalleled battle god star, Emo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared behind Lu Jiang in the blink of an eye. Inaction Sky Concealing Finger. When Emo Qingyun arrived behind Lu Jiang, he pointed a finger at Lu Jiang and blasted out an obscure immortal spiritual energy. After pointing a finger at Lu Jiang, Emo Qingyun's figure flashed continuously, and he quickly arrived at Lu Jiang's left side and blasted another finger at Lu Jiang. Then, Emo Qingyun circled around Lu Jiang and blasted out beams of imposing finger light. Facing Emo Qingyun's attack, Lu Jiang did not dare to be careless and hurriedly blocked Emo Qingyun's attack. However, Emo Qingyun's attack was too ferocious, and it made him feel helpless. Immortal Technique, Sweeping the Heavens. Lu Jiang turned his hand into a saber and blasted forward with his palm, exploding with a terrifying immortal spiritual energy. Then, this shocking immortal spiritual energy transformed into 100-meter-wide crescent-shaped saber light. Under the influence of this crescent-shaped saber light, the finger light and halberd light that were attacking Lu Jiang were immediately blocked by the saber light. Bang bang bang, when the halberd light and finger light collided with the crescent-shaped saber light, they immediately exploded with loud bangs and produced waves of astonishing spiritual energy wave. Seeing that Emo Qingyun's finger light was blocked, Lu Jiang's expression relaxed, and his frowning expression relaxed a little. Bang bang, however, before Lu Jiang's expression could relax, he was hit by two domineering forces. After being hit by these two domineering forces, Lu Jiang's body immediately bent like a prawn, and his face was filled with disbelief. He clearly blocked Emo Qingyun's finger light and halberd light, so why was he still hit? Moreover, this time it was two different forces. Puff! After being hit by two consecutive finger lights, Lu Jiang spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face turned pale. At the same time, the aura emitted from Lu Jiang's body instantly weakened by several levels. Haha, old dog Lu Jiang, prepare to die. Seeing Lu Jiang's miserable state, Pang Weisheng, who was at the side, immediately laughed out loud and gloated. Although Emo Qingyun might not spare him, seeing that Lu Jiang was seriously injured by Emo Qingyun, he still felt very happy. Just now, Lu Jiang used him to block the saber, which made him hold back a mouthful of resentment. Now, this disgusting feeling was finally vented. Seeing Pang Weisheng's performance, Lu Jiang was so angry that his old face turned red, and his face revealed a ferocious expression. Puff! However, before Lu Jiang could speak, he spat out another mouthful of blood, and his face became even paler. Too hateful! If Emo Qingyun had not injured him, and Pang Weiqing dared to disrespect him like this, he would definitely torture and kill Pang Weiqing 10 times over. Just as Lu Jiang was enraged, Mo Qingyun did not stop attacking, and once again charged towards Lu Jiang. Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Lu Jiang in a few flashes, and once again attacked Lu Jiang with his halberd. Facing Mo Qingyun's attack, Lu Jiang did not dare to be careless, and immediately took out a short saber to block it. Clang! When the immortal burning halberd and the short saber collided, there was immediately a loud sound, and a terrifying force surged. Under the impact of this force, Lu Jiang was blasted back, and flew for close to 10,000 meters before he could stabilize his body. Run! Seeing that he had put some distance between himself and Mo Qingyun, Lu Jiang did not dare to hesitate, and immediately turned around to escape. He knew that if he didn't escape, he might die here today. Do you think you can escape? Looking at Lu Jiang, who turned around to escape, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly, and a strong sense of mockery appeared on his face. Traceless demon shadow. Lightning wind path. Seeing that Lu Jiang was about to escape, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed, and he quickly chased after Lu Jiang. Mo Qingyun's flying speed instantly reached a terrifying level with the help of the 2 types of movement techniques that boosted his speed. Swoosh! Mo Qingyun's figure turned into a stream of light, and in the blink of an eye, he caught up with Lu Jiang and blocked his path. Old dog, you can't escape. Just accept your death obediently. Mo Qingyun, I beg you, don't kill me. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything you want me to. Seeing that his path was blocked by Mo Qingyun, Lu Jiang's face was filled with fear, and he quickly begged for mercy from Mo Qingyun. Chapter 1451. Soul Prison. Mo Qingyun coldly glanced at Lu Jiang. A terrifying soul energy shot out from his left eye. When this soul energy shot out, it turned into a soul chain and smashed into Lu Jiang's sea of consciousness. Lu Jiang was a constellation realm expert. Even if he wasn't good at soul cultivation, his soul cultivation wasn't weak. Therefore, if it was a scattered soul attack, it wouldn't cause much damage to him. Lu Jiang let out a miserable shriek as he was struck by a soul iron chain. His face revealed a pained expression. Then, everyone saw Lu Jiang holding his head with both hands and rolling in the air. Lu Jiang's current state was like Sun Wukong being tortured by the Golden Hoop Curse. Since you're in so much pain, I'll send you on your way. Looking at Lu Jiang rolling in pain, Mo Qingyun coldly waved the immortal burning battle halberd and stabbed at Lu Jiang. Under Mo Qingyun's wave, the immortal burning battle halberd turned into a red shadow and instantly pierced through Lu Jiang's head. Mo Qingyun, I won't let you go. The moment Lu Jiang's head exploded, a small gray figure flew out from Lu Jiang's head. This gray figure was naturally Lu Jiang's soul. Old dog, I said I'll kill you. How could I let you escape so easily? Looking at Lu Jiang's soul escaping into the distance, Mo Qingyun coldly shot out a purple ray of light from his right eye. The purple ray of light flew at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, it caught up with Lu Jiang's soul and smashed into it. Poochie! Facing the attack of the eye ray, Lu Jiang's soul was instantly crushed. He didn't even have time to beg for mercy. Seeing that Lu Jiang's soul had been destroyed, the surrounding people were stunned. They looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. Lu Jiang was dead. In the end, Lu Jiang, who was at the constellation realm, was still killed by Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun is too terrifying. Even Lu Jiang was killed by him. Yeah. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, it would be hard to believe. If his cultivation reaches the true immortal realm, wouldn't he be able to fight a golden immortal? The power of a golden immortal realm expert's Tao isn't that easy to deal with. Seeing Mo Qingyun's current strength, everyone silently evaluated Mo Qingyun's strength. While everyone was estimating Mo Qingyun's strength, Mo Qingyun looked at Pang Weiqing and the others and said coldly, "Since Lu Jiang is dead, it's time to send you all to accompany him. Upon hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Pang Weisheng's expression immediately trembled, and he revealed a terrified expression as he said, Emo Qingyun, didn't you say that you wanted me to watch how Lu Jiang dies? I did say. I'll let you see how I kill Lu Jiang, but I didn't say I'll spare you. Before Pang Weisheng could finish his words, Emo Qingyun interrupted him. His face gradually turned cold. Letting you see Lu Jiang being killed by me is a gift to you. You can die without regrets. Emo Qingyun charged towards Pang Weisheng and the others. He swung his halberd at them domineeringly. Don't kill me. When Pang Weisheng and the others saw Emo Qingyun charging towards them, their faces trembled as they begged in despair. It couldn't be helped. Even a constellation powerhouse like Lu Jiang had been overbearingly killed by Emo Qingyun. With their meager strength, facing Emo Qingyun's powerful attack, how could they have any chance of survival? Bang! 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 Under Emo Qingyun's powerful attacks, Pang Weisheng and the others didn't even have time to react before Emo Qingyun killed several of them. A few breaths later, more than half of Pang Weisheng's group was killed by Emo Qingyun's domineering attack. After killing almost half of the Pang family, Emo Qingyun did not show any mercy. He continued to attack the Pang family. After a while, the Pang family was finally killed by Emo Qingyun's cold attack. Spirit Summoning Gate. After killing Pang Weisheng and the others, Emo Qingyun did not hide anything. He directly used the Spirit Summoning Gate. Before the incident at the charming fairy palace, Missouri Qingyun was still worried that his god race bloodline would be exposed. If that happened, he would be hunted down by both the immortal race and the god race. What would he do? Now, he was no longer worried. Even if he did not have the god race bloodline, he would still be hunted down by the god race and the immortal race. At least, he was currently in such a situation in the three immortal domains. Emo Qingyun's thoughts were very simple. With his current constellation-level strength, there were very few people in the three immortal domains who could deal with him. Moreover, now that the Eternal South Immortal Palace had been destroyed by a group of unknown people, he had even less to worry about. Under Emo Qingyun's Spirit Summoning Gate, the shattered soul fragments around him were turned into specters. Seeing the specters emerge from the Spirit Summoning Gate one after another, the crowd was once again shocked, their faces pale with fright. What kind of ability is that? It can summon such powerful specters. It's too scary. If Emo Qingyun can summon them endlessly like this, wouldn't he be able to sweep through the entire wasteland continent? So this is how Emo Qingyun summons all the specters. This ability is too heaven-defying. Say, now that Emo Qingyun has exposed this trump card in front of us, will he kill us to silence us? I don't think so. If he wanted to kill us to silence us, he would have done so already. Looks like Emo Qingyun treats us as one of his own. If that's the case, the danger of the 9 great immortal gates can be resolved. Seeing Emo Qingyun's shocking actions, Wen Chang and the others were all shocked, guessing what Emo Qingyun was thinking. Next, time passed bit by bit as Emo Qingyun summoned the specters. A constellation-level specter. After a short while, a terrifying aura emerged from the Spirit Summoning Gate, scaring Wen Chang and the others so much that their faces twitched. At this moment they felt that their brains were not enough, because this was simply too frightening. To think that Emo Qingyun could even summon a constellation realm ghost. Wasn't this a little too freakish? After about an hour, Emo Qingyun stopped summoning and removed the Spirit Summoning Gate. There's actually a constellation-level specter. This way, my strength will increase by quite a bit. Looking at the constellation-level specter before him, Emo Qingyun revealed a pleasantly surprised smile. He was very happy with this unexpected gain. Soon after, Emo Qingyun no longer hesitated and stored all the specters into the 5 directional pagodas. After doing all this, Emo Qingyun flew towards Wen Chang and the others, saying in a low voice, "The Pang clan's matter has been dealt with. Let's return to the Pringzhou Inn and discuss the matter of the Ghost Moon people. Alright. Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Wenchang didn't dare to object and hurriedly nodded in agreement with Imo Qingyun's suggestion. Chapter 1452. Brother Imo, thank you. On the way back to the inn, Gui Yuemin looked at Imo Qingyun with a grateful expression. Hearing Gu Min's words of gratitude, Imo Qingyun shook his head with a faint smile and replied, "Speaking of gratitude, I still have to thank you for taking care of Xiao Xiao in the Ghost Moon manner." Hearing this, Gui Yuemin revealed an awkward expression and scratched his head with an embarrassed smile. Seeing Gui Yuemin's action, Imo Qingyun did not say anything else and returned to the inn with everyone. About 15 minutes later, Imo Qingyun and the rest returned to the inn and walked into an empty room to discuss the matter of Gui Yuemin and Xiao Xiao. After witnessing Imo Qingyun's powerful strength, Wenchang and the rest were a little restrained in front of Imo Qingyun. "Everyone, there's no need to be like this. Just act like before." Seeing Wenchang and the rest, Imo Qingyun revealed a kind smile and spread his hands at Wenchang and the rest, indicating for them to sit down and talk. Yes. Wenchang and the rest nodded and found a place to sit down. However, their expressions were still a little flustered. Imo Qingyun could only smile helplessly at this. He knew that his performance just now was too frightening. "Wenchang Gui Yuemin is my good friend. Regarding his marriage with Wenqi, can I discuss it with you?" Once all of them were seated, Imo Qingyun turned around to gaze at Wenchang, and then he pointed at Gui Yuemin and said, "You should be aware that it's a form of humiliation for Gui Yuemin if he heads to Sky Devil Talisman Stronghold with you. Can you allow Wenqi to marry into the Ghost Moon clan?" This, hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Wenchang frowned slightly and revealed a pondering expression. At this moment, Wenchang was rapidly considering whether he should agree to Imo Qingyun's request. If he agreed to Imo Qingyun's suggestion, he would have another excuse to ask Imo Qingyun for help. If he did not agree to Imo Qingyun's request, it would be unrealistic for him to ask Imo Qingyun for help later. Furthermore, with Imo Qingyun's terrifying strength, if Imo Qingyun forcefully stopped them, they would not be able to do anything. "I don't seem to have a choice." After thinking about it this way, Wenchang couldn't help but smile bitterly. He had a clear answer in his heart. With a clear answer in his heart, Wenchang no longer hesitated. He revealed a brilliant smile and said, "Brother Imo is right. Letting Gui Yuemin come to my Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold is indeed making things difficult for him. It's better to let Wenqi marry into the Gui Ying clan." "Big brother, you," seeing the change in Wenchang's attitude, Wenqi revealed an angry expression and glared fiercely at Wenchang. Wenchang did not take Wenqi's angry actions to heart. He smiled casually and said, "Sister, with brother Imo backing Gui Yuemin, I have no other choice. Why don't you discuss it with brother Imo?" Seeing that Wenchang wanted her to discuss it with Imo Qingyun, Wenqi was shocked and did not dare to look at Imo Qingyun. She clearly saw that Imo Qingyun did not even blink when he killed the Pang clan's people. It was better for her not to anger such a cold-blooded demon. "You guys only know how to bully me. I'm not going to talk to you guys anymore," Wenqi shouted angrily. She carried her child and walked to the side. Seeing that Wenqi was walking to the side, Imo Qingyun gave Gui Yuemin a look, asking him to go and comfort Wenqi. Receiving Imo Qingyun's signal, Gui Yuemin immediately stood up and went to comfort the angry Wenqi. Of course, Wenqi was not really angry. She was just acting like a girl. Under Gui Yuemin's comfort, Wenqi immediately smiled and reached a consensus with Gui Yuemin. It seems that the matter between Wenqi and Gui Yuemin has been successfully settled. Seeing Gui Yuemin's performance, Wenchang smiled brightly and nodded with satisfaction. After dealing with Wenqi and Gui Yuemin, Wenchang did not want to waste any more time. His expression instantly became serious and said, "Brother Imo, Since you came from the Immortal Road's Sky Demon Talisman sect, you and I can be considered as fellow disciples. Now that the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold is in danger, I wonder if you can help? Let's hear it. Emo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and directly asked Wen Chang. Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Wen Chang did not beat around the bush and said in a deep voice, "Since you came from the Immortal Road, you should know about the existence of the 9 great immortal gates. To be honest, the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold is currently being suppressed by the 9 great immortal gate. I'm afraid that it won't be long before they join forces to deal with the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold." You want me to help the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold destroy the 9 great immortal gates? Without waiting for Wen Chang to finish speaking, Emo Qingyun guessed his thoughts. With a solemn expression, he said, "Don't worry, since I'm a disciple of the Sky Demon Talisman sect, I naturally won't watch my sect be bullied." So you're saying that you're willing to help the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold resolve this crisis? Hearing Emo Qingyun's answer, Wen Chang was pleasantly surprised and immediately became excited. In his opinion, with Emo Qingyun's powerful strength, it would be a piece of cake for him to deal with the 9 great immortal gates. Yes. Emo Qingyun nodded affirmatively. He frowned slightly and said, "Where is the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold? Is it far from here?" The Sky Demon Talisman stronghold is near the Omen Ridge. It's not far from here. After describing the location of the Omen Ridge, Wen Chang did some calculations and said, "If we travel at full speed, we can reach the Omen Ridge in about 3 days. 3 days is not too long." Emo Qingyun did some calculations and had a plan in his mind. He said to Wen Chang in a deep voice, "In this case, you wait for me here. I'll go back to deal with some things, and then I'll go to the Omen Ridge with you." Okay. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Wen Chang was pleasantly surprised and quickly nodded to Emo Qingyun. Now, the situation of the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold was not optimistic. Naturally, it was better to solve it as soon as possible. Emo Qingyun agreed to leave immediately, which was undoubtedly the best result for them. After discussing with Wen Chang and the others, Emo Qingyun left the Pengzhou Inn and went back to the Ghost Moon Mansion. In the conference hall of the Ghost Moon Mansion. At this moment, Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the others were sitting in the conference hall, frowning. "Family head, are you sure you don't want to tell the family about Mr. Emo?" An elder of the Ghost Moon family asked Ghost Moon Baku Ping for his opinion with a serious expression. Hearing the elder's question, Ghost Moon Baku Ping fell silent and hesitated. Chapter 1453. But if we don't inform the younger generation, what if they offend him? Hearing Ghost Moon Baku Ping's words, another elder revealed a worried expression and said some words of concern. Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest became silent after hearing the elder's words. They didn't know what to do. It seems that no matter what they do, the result won't be reasonable. Thump thump thump. While Ghost Moon Baku Ping was discussing matters, Izhen's hurried footsteps suddenly came from outside the meeting hall. Then, Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest saw a young man rushing into the meeting hall in a hurry. "Ling Qi, why are you in such a hurry? Could it be that something happened?" Looking at the young man walking into the hall, Ghost Moon Baking Plain had a solemn expression as he questioned the young man. The young man's expression trembled after hearing Ghost Moon Baku Ping's words. He nervously reported, "Patriarch, something bad has happened. Miss Yushi and Miss Pang Rui are humiliating Miss Xiao Xiao and Miss Chu Yunyun. It seems like they are going to fight." "What? Yushi and Tang Rui are humiliating Xiao Xiao and Chu Yunyun?" Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest's head buzzed after hearing the young man's report. Cold sweat immediately appeared on their foreheads. Something big is going to happen. Emo Qingyun is very protective of Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao and Xiao Xiao. If he knows that someone dares to bully Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao and Xiao Xiao, the consequences will be unimaginable. "Quick, bring me there immediately." Ghost Moon Yao Ping had an anxious expression. He quickly gave orders to the youth and walked out of the conference hall. Seeing Gui Yu Ba Ping walk out of the hall, the elders didn't hesitate. They all followed Gui Yu Ba Ping out. After a while, Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest arrived at the place where Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao and the rest were quarreling. However, what made Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest want to cry but have no tears? At this time, Mo Qinyun just happened to return. Mr. Mo. Mr. Mo. Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest were pale when they saw Mo Qinyun walking towards them. They quickly saluted Mo Qinyun. When Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest saluted, they were sweating profusely and a chill ran down their spine. What they were afraid of has happened. Ghost Moon Patriarch Elders. Mo Qinyun smiled faintly when he saw Ghost Moon, Yen Ping and the others approaching. He greeted them. When Mo Qinyun greeted Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest, he heard a series of harsh words. Ghost Moon Xiao 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 Xiaos. Why did you come back to Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao? In my opinion, the Hundred Faces clan must have felt that she was shameless and divorced her as soon as she got married. She tees have children's now she's tss she's? His estes ts a's his s's. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Ghost Moon, Yen Ping, and the others were shocked and their faces paled. This was really bad. The most terrifying thing had happened. Young Master Mo, let me explain. Ghost Moon Baku Ping didn't dare to hesitate when he saw Mo Qingyun's expression. He quickly tried to calm Mo Qingyun down. All of you wait here. Without my order, no one is allowed to enter the courtyard. Before Ghost Moon Baku Ping could finish, Mo Qinyun interrupted him and ordered them not to enter the courtyard. Mo Qinyun did this because he wanted to see how arrogant Ghost Moon Yushi and Pang Rui were. Ghost Moon Baku Ping and the rest looked at each other when they heard Mo Qingyun's order. They didn't dare to enter the courtyard. Qinyun. Ghost Moon and Xiao Xiao were overjoyed when they saw Mo Qinyun return to the courtyard. They quickly walked towards Mo Qinyun. Walking over to Gui Yu and Xiao Xiao, Mo Qinyun had a displeased expression as he asked the two girls, "What happened?" "It's like this. Just now, these two people suddenly came to the courtyard and then started shouting at me and Xiao Xiao to move away." Chu Yunyun didn't hide anything when she heard Mo Qingyun's question. She immediately explained to Mo Qinyun. After that, Xiao Xiao and I ignored them. They started yelling and insulting us. So that's what happened. Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold when he heard Chu Yunyun's explanation. He turned to Pang Rui and Xiao Xiao and said, "You two, slap yourselves 100 times. I'll forgive you this time because of Ghost Moon Baku Ping." "You want us to slap ourselves 100 times? Ghost Moon Yushi's expression darkened when she heard Mo Qingyun's cold words. She glanced at Mo Qingyun with disdain and said, "Boy, do you know who I am? How dare you talk to me like that? I don't care who you are. I have no interest in caring." Mo Qinyun shook his head indifferently after glancing at Ghost Moon Yushi. He changed the topic and said coldly, "But if you don't do as I say, I can guarantee that no one in Ghost Moon Manor will be able to save you." "What a joke. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue?" Pang Rui chuckled. Her expression was full of disdain as she mocked Mo Qinyun. "Boy, if I'm not wrong, you're the wild man who had an affair with Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao." Slap! Without waiting for Pang Rui to finish speaking, Mo Qinyun slapped Pang Rui and sent her flying. Then, everyone saw Pang Rui crash into a pillar, breaking it into 2 pieces. Rare. Ghost Moon Yushi's expression changed when she saw Pang Rui's appearance. She quickly ran towards Pang Rui. Then, Ghost Moon Yushi helped Pang Rui up. She looked extremely miserable, especially the right side of Pang Rui's face. After being slapped by Mo Qinyun, it was swollen like a pig's head. Seeing Pang Rui's miserable state, Ghost Moon Yushi revealed a sinister expression. She looked coldly at Mo Qinyun and said, "Boy, do you know who she is? How dare you hit her?" She's the daughter of the Pang family's patriarch, Pang Weisheng. So what if she's Pang Weisheng's daughter? Hearing Ghost Moon Yushi's words, Emo Qingyun's lips curled into a disdainful smile. He replied, I don't mind telling you. Not long ago, I killed Pang Weisheng and his men outside Ghost Luo City. What? This boy killed Pang Weisheng? Is this true or false? It shouldn't be true. It's most likely this boy is just bragging. That's right. This boy is only at the immortal infant stage. How could he kill Pang Weisheng? Pang Rue is finished. If nothing unexpected happens, the Pang family will be completely finished. She thinks she can show off in front of Mr. Mo just because she's Pang Weisheng's daughter. What an idiot. At this moment, those who knew or didn't know Emo Qingyun spoke their thoughts. While everyone was discussing, Pang Rui curled her lips in disdain and mocked. Boy, don't say I didn't give you a chance. My father is in the Pang family now. If you have the ability, come with me to the Pang family. Pang Rui naturally didn't believe Emo Qingyun's words. After she finished speaking, she got up and walked outside. Seeing Pang Rui's action, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded. It's good to go to the Pang family. I'll uproot them while I'm at it. Chapter 1454. Seeing Emo Qingyun and Xiao Xiao walk out of the courtyard, the rest of the people followed behind them. They want to see what Emo Qingyun will do when he arrives at the Pang family. Let's go and see. Seeing Emo Qingyun walking ahead, Ghost Moon and Xiao Xiao exchanged a look and followed Emo Qingyun out of the courtyard. Seeing the two of them follow, Emo Qingyun did not say anything and followed them to the Pang family. Emo Qingyun thinks that it's good for them to see the Pang family being destroyed. This way, he can help them vent their anger. Not long after, Emo Qingyun and the rest came out of the courtyard and saw Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest waiting for them. Family Head Elders. Family Head Huan Ping Elders. Seeing Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest, everyone had a respectful expression and saluted them. Gui Yu, Yen Ping, and the others indifferently nodded in response to everyone's greetings. Then they respectfully walked toward Emo Qingyun. Seeing Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest walking towards him, Emo Qingyun shook his head, indicating that they don't need to greet him. You just need to follow me. Don't worry about anything else. When Emo Qingyun was hinting at Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest, he also sent them a spiritual message, telling them not to interfere in this matter. Emo Qingyun did this to prevent Pang Rui from finding out his identity too early. This way, he won't be able to punish Pang Rui. After receiving Emo Qingyun's instructions, Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest did not dare to get close to Emo Qingyun. They looked at Pang Rui with sympathy. This girl has caused a lot of trouble for the Pang family. Of course, Ghost Moon Huan Ping and the rest will not tell Pang Rui what they are thinking. What they are most worried about now is that Ghost Moon Yushi has angered Emo Qingyun. How are they going to appease Emo Qingyun's anger? Under Pang Rui's lead, everyone walked towards the Pang family. Brat, I'll let you know the consequences of offending me, Pang Rui. Seeing Emo Qingyun catch up to her, Pang Rui smiled coldly and turned to look at Emo Qingyun. Presumably, in her opinion, even if Emo Qingyun was a dragon, once he came to their Pang mansion, he would turn into a worm and beg for mercy. About 15 minutes later, under Pang Rui's lead, everyone arrived in front of the Pang mansion. Pang Rui came to the front of the Pang mansion. With an arrogant expression, she shouted at the mansion's guards, "You guys, go inform the patriarch immediately. Tell him that someone is invading our Pang family." Inform the patriarch? Hearing Pang Rui's words, the guards were stunned and looked at each other in dismay. Didn't the patriarch go out a long time ago and hasn't returned yet? Pang Rui instructed a few servants. She then revealed an arrogant smile and turned to look at Emo Qingyun, saying, "Brat, when my father arrives, prepare to die." Hearing Pang Rui's words, Emo Qingyun only smiled faintly and didn't respond. Pang Wei-shing had already been killed by him. It would be strange if he could come out. Seeing that Emo Qingyun ignored her, Pang Rui's face turned ugly and her expression turned cold. But what made Pang Rui even angrier was that the guards didn't go to inform Pang Wei-shing after hearing her orders. "What are you guys standing there for? Didn't you hear what I said?" Pang Rui was enraged when she saw that the guards were not moving. She immediately scolded them. Hearing Pang Rui's words, the guards felt wronged and didn't know how to respond. Pang Wei-shing left with a group of elders and still hasn't returned. How are they going to inform Pang Wei-shing? The guards pondered for a moment, then a middle-aged man walked to Pang Rui's side and whispered, "Miss Rer, the patriarch left with the elders early in the morning and still hasn't returned." "What? Father left with the elders? Still hasn't returned?" Hearing the middle-aged guard's words, Pang Rui's face turned pale and a terrified expression appeared on her face. Could it be that what Emo Qingyun said was true? That he really killed Pang Wei-shing and the others? No. Impossible. Thinking of this possibility, Pang Rui's face was filled with panic and she didn't know what to do. Seeing Pang Rui's abnormal expression, ghostly Moon Yushi, who was beside her, was shocked. She revealed a nervous and puzzled expression and said, What happened? Quickly tell me." Hearing ghostly Moon Yushi's words, Pang Rui's expression turned better. She still had a lingering fear. "My father left with a group of elders early in the morning and still hasn't returned." "What?" Ghostly Moon Yushi's pretty face was also shocked. She couldn't help but widen her eyes as a feeling of unease rose within her. This wasn't a good sign. "Miss Pang Rui, aren't you looking for the patriarch? Why haven't you left yet?" Seeing the terrified Pang Rui, Emo Qingyun looked at her mockingly and questioned her. Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Pang Rui's body trembled and her expression became even more panicked. At this moment, while Pang Rui was panicking, a group of young men in hoodies rode over. The leader of the group looked similar to Pang Rui. He must be Pang Rui's brother. "Who are you? What business do you have in the Pang residence?" Seeing Emo Qingyun and the rest in front of the Pang residence, the young man's face darkened and he shouted angrily at Emo Qingyun and the rest. The young man shouted angrily at Emo Qingyun and the rest. When he saw ghostly Moon Yuanping and the rest in the crowd, he said unhappily, "Patriarch Yuanping, do you think that the ghostly Moon clan can come and cause trouble when my father isn't here? Young Master Pangzhan, you are wrong." Hearing Pangzhan's words, ghostly Moon Yuanping smiled faintly and replied, "We are here because of your sister's invitation. If you don't believe me, you can ask her." Rare. Hearing ghostly Moon Yuanping's words, Pangzhan's eyes narrowed and he turned to look at Pang Rui. Seeing Pang Rui in front of the Pang residence, Pangzhan was unhappy. He quickly walked towards Pang Rui and asked, What is going on? Why did you ask these people to come here?" "Big brother," facing Pangzhan's question, Pang Rui lowered her head guiltily. She didn't know how to explain this matter. Seeing Pang Rui's silence, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and looked at Pangzhan. "No need to ask her, let me speak." "You?" Pangzhan frowned and his eyes turned cold. He stared at Emo Qingyun and ordered, "Speak, what is going on? If you dare to lie, I will cut your head off." Facing Pangzhan's overbearing aura, Emo Qingyun didn't move at all. With an indifferent expression, he said, "This Miss Pang Rui doesn't believe me. Not long ago, I killed Pang Wei-shing and the rest. She wanted me to prove it for her, so I had to fulfill her request." Chapter 1455. How dare you disrespect the Pang family patriarch? You're courting death. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Pangzhan's face darkened. He drew his sword and slashed at Emo Qingyun. As soon as Pangzhan made his move, he released the aura of a half-step minor star realm elite, crushing Emo Qingyun's body. Immortal technique, Stampede of the Flaming Bulls. Pang Zhan swung his sword and released a terrifying flaming immortal spiritual energy. It formed 4 flaming bulls in the air. As soon as the 4 flaming bull shadows were formed, they turned into 4 red afterimages and blasted toward Mo Qingyun from 4 different directions. Too weak. Facing Pang Zhan's sword, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain. His expression was one of disdain. As Mo Qingyun spoke, he held the immortal burning battle halberd in his hand and swung it at the 4 bull shadows. Boom! Mo Qingyun swung his halberd and released an even more powerful and violent immortal spiritual energy. It turned into a flaming dragon. Once the flaming dragon was formed, it swung its huge dragon tail and hit the 4 bull shadows. Bang bang bang, facing the overbearing whipping of the dragon tail, the 4 bull shadows exploded and turned into pure immortal spiritual energy. Seeing Pang Zhan's powerful halberd being easily neutralized by Mo Qingyun, the surrounding people were stunned. Was this really the strength of an immortal infant stage expert? Even an ordinary lesser star realm expert would not be as powerful as Mo Qingyun. No. Impossible, this must be an illusion. Seeing Mo Qingyun's terrifying strength, Pang Rui's face turned even paler and her uneasiness grew stronger. At this moment, she unconsciously believed that Mo Qingyun had killed Pang Weiqing and the rest. However, this was not the result she wanted. She did not want to see Pang Weiqing and the rest die. Because once Pang Weiqing and the rest died, the Pang family would be finished. Get over here! After neutralizing Pang Zhan's attack, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold and he stretched out his palm toward Pang Zhan. 9 Azure Sea Cloud Sky Dragon Capturing Hands. Mo Qingyun reached out with his palm and blasted out a wave of dark blue immortal spiritual energy, which transformed into a huge blue palm. The blue palm's power was astonishing, giving people the feeling that it could cover the sky and cover the sun. Impossible. How can someone at the immortal infant stage be so powerful? Pang Zhan's face was filled with fear as he looked at the approaching giant blue palm. He was unable to accept this fact. He had always flaunted himself as a genius of the Pang family, but now, he was actually being beaten to the point where he couldn't even retaliate against a brat at the immortal infant stage. This situation was a cruel blow to him. Then, everyone saw the giant blue palm capture Pang Zhan and bring him in front of Mo Qingyun like a thunderbolt. You! Let go of my big brother! Seeing Mo Qingyun capture Pang Zhan, Pang Rui's face was filled with panic as she hurriedly shouted at Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun ignored Pang Rui's reprimand and said with an indifferent expression, "Since you can't find Pang Weiqing, I'll kill Pang Zhan first and then accompany you to slowly search. Don't kill my big brother." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Pang Rui's face was filled with anger and panic as she cried and begged Mo Qingyun. She was a little scared. She didn't dare to gamble with Pang Zhan's life. The price was too high. In contrast to Pang Rui's panic, Pang Zhan was calm and said to Pang Rui with a cold expression, Don't panic. I don't believe that he can do anything to me outside the Pang residence." After comforting Pang Rui, Pang Zhan revealed a cold and arrogant expression and shouted at Mo Qingyun arrogantly, "Brat, if you dare to touch a hair on my head, I'll make sure you'll never be able to leave the Pang family." "Haha, is that so?" Hearing Pang Zhan's words, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold and he raised his hand to hit one of Pang Zhan's arms. Then, a terrifying wave of immortal spiritual energy exploded from Mo Qingyun's palm. Crack! Under Mo Qingyun's palm, the crisp sound of bones cracking could be heard. Then, everyone saw one of Pang Zhan's arms droop weakly. Pang Zhan's arm was crippled. Seeing this scene, not only were the surrounding people dumbfounded, but even Pang Zhan himself was dumbfounded. Mo Qingyun had actually attacked. Moreover, when Mo Qingyun attacked, he didn't hesitate at all. You actually dared to hurt me." Seeing that one of his arms was crippled, Pang Zhan's eyes widened. He couldn't believe that this was real. Not only did I dare to hurt you, but I also dare to kill you. Seeing Pang Zhan's shocked expression, Emo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and replied, "Previously, there was a person called Pang Hong in the Pang family. He was as ignorant as you and thought that I wouldn't dare to cripple him. You should know what happened in the end." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Pang Zhan's expression immediately trembled. He looked at Emo Qingyun in horror and said, You are Emo Qingyun?" Pang Zhan had naturally heard of Pang Hong's encounter. At this moment, Pang Zhan finally understood what kind of person was in front of him. He had miscalculated this time in order to maintain his status in front of him. Seeing Pang Zhan's reaction, everyone was confused. Was Emo Qingyun really that terrifying? "Since you know who I am, you can die in peace." As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he exerted force in his giant blue palm and crushed Pang Zhan's body. Soon after, everyone saw Pang Zhan's body shrink. His face was filled with terror and his eyes gradually became hollow. Seeing this, everyone's eyes widened. They were quite frightened by Emo Qingyun's viciousness. Pang Zhan was dead. Under Emo Qingyun's tyrannical attack, Pang Zhan's soul didn't even manage to escape before he was brutally killed by Emo Qingyun. "Big brother!" Seeing Pang Zhan killed by Emo Qingyun, Pang Rui's face was filled with grief and terror as she screamed at the top of her lungs. Unfortunately, Pang Zhan could no longer hear her voice. At this moment, while everyone was shocked by Emo Qingyun's actions, some elders of the Pang family came out. "Miss Pang Rui, we sensed a fight in front of the residence. What happened?" These elders came out of the mansion. Their faces were filled with anger as they questioned Pang Rui, who was standing in front of the mansion. Hearing the elders' questions, Pang Rui revealed a sinister expression. She pointed at Emo Qingyun and said angrily, "This brat killed my big brother. Elders, please avenge my big brother." "What? How dare you kill our young lord in front of our Pang residence? You're courting death." When the elders heard that Pang Zhan had been killed, they all revealed furious expressions. They looked like they were going to chop Emo Qingyun into pieces. Soon after, the elders of the Pang residence charged at Emo Qingyun with ferocious expressions. Seeing these people charging at him, Emo Qingyun revealed an indifferent expression. He shook his head regretfully and said, "I wanted to play a little longer, but since you're all in a hurry to die, I'll have to fulfill your wishes." Chapter 1456. Soon, a terrifying aura was emitted from Emo Qingyun's side. When this aura was unleashed, tall, gray figures appeared in front of Emo Qingyun one by one. Seeing these tall gray figures, the surrounding people were shocked. They were frightened by the scene in front of them. What are those? Why do they look like ghosts? These ghosts are so powerful. Every one of them is above the true immortal realm. Some of them are from the minor star realm and great star realm. Hiss! What a terrifying aura! This aura seems to belong to a constellation realm expert. Constellation realm ghost. This time, the Pang family is really finished. Seeing the ghosts beside Emo Qingyun, the surrounding people were shocked. The way they looked at Emo Qingyun changed greatly. A person with immortal infant realm cultivation could summon so many ghosts. This was too strange and illogical. Constellation realm ghost. Seeing the constellation realm ghosts in front of Emo Qingyun, Gui Yu Ba Ping and the others' pupils shrank. They were even more in awe of Emo Qingyun. Last time at the 100 Change family, they didn't see Emo Qingyun summon ghosts of this level. They didn't expect that in just a few days, Emo Qingyun could summon ghosts of this level. This kind of improvement was too frightening. Could it be that the ghosts summoned by Emo Qingyun are enough to raise their cultivation bases? Thinking of this possibility, Gui Yu Ba Ping's body trembled. A chill ran down his spine. Constellation realm experts could borrow the power of planet. They weren't easy to kill. Therefore, in Gui Yu Ba Ping's opinion, no matter how powerful Emo Qingyun was, It was impossible for him to kill a Constellation Realm expert. Therefore, Gui Ba Ping thought that the Constellation Realm ghosts that Emo Qingyun summoned must have broken through from Great Star Realm ghosts. If the ghosts that Emo Qingyun summoned can continuously increase their cultivation, then in the future, such a thought appeared in Ghost Moon Baku Ping's mind. He was so scared that his face twitched. If it was as he thought, as long as Emo Qingyun was given enough time, wouldn't he be able to lead tens of thousands of ghosts and sweep through the entire wasteland continent? Who? Ghost Moon Baku Ping took a deep breath. He didn't dare to think about it anymore. This too was too scary. Bang bang bang, under everyone's shocked gazes, the Ghost and the Pang clan clashed. In just a single exchange, the Pang family's people had been injured, and they all looked at the Ghost with terrified expressions. No, this can't be real. This must be an illusion. Seeing the heavily injured members of the Pang family, Pang Rue was so scared that her face turned pale and she collapsed to the ground. Now, she believed that what Emo Qingyun said was true. He really did kill Pang Weisheng and the others. With so many specters at the peak of the major star ranks and the specters from one constellation joining forces, Pang Weisheng and the others were most likely doomed. After sending the Pang clan's people flying, the ghosts didn't stop and continued to attack the Pang clan's people. Under the frenzied attacks of the ghosts, the Pang clan's people were killed one after another. Because of Emo Qingyun's orders, the ghosts didn't attack Pang Rue when they were killing the Pang clan's people. Seeing her clansmen being killed one after another, Pang Rue's face was filled with grief, pain, and despair. She wanted nothing more than to die. But now death was just an extravagant wish for her. Under the watch of several minor star-rank specters, she didn't even have the chance to kill herself. How can this be? How can Ghost Moon Xiao Zhao's man be so powerful? Seeing the ghosts slaughtering the Pang clan's people, Ghost Moon Yushi was shocked. She looked at Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao with jealousy. Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao was only from a subsidiary continent. Their difference in status was like heaven and earth. Yet, she was favored by such a powerhouse. As the battle became louder and louder, more Pang clan's people were attracted over. When they saw the large group of ghosts in front of the Pang clan's residence, they were all terrified by the scene before them. However, before they could recover from their shock, they were drowned by a large group of ghosts and were attacked by them in a frenzy. Seeing the Pang clan's people besieged by ghosts, the surrounding crowd had complicated expressions. Some were happy, some were shocked, and some were sad. One of the top clans in Ghost Luo City was destroyed in the blink of an eye. This made them feel sad. In the wild continent, if you were strong enough, you would end up like the Pang clan. Then, the crowd watched as the Pang clan's people died one after another. A few hours later, the Pang clan's residence was reduced to a pool of blood. It was difficult to find anyone alive. Guard the entrance and exit. Seeing the Pang clan's people destroyed, Emo Qingyun ordered the ghosts and entered the Pang clan's residence. Seeing Emo Qingyun enter the Pang clan's residence, Ghost Moon Yushi immediately guessed what he wanted to do. Emo Qingyun was probably going to ransack the Pang clan. Then, under the envious gazes of the crowd, Emo Qingyun led the ghosts to ransack the Pang clan's residence. However, although the crowd was envious of Emo Qingyun, they did not dare to act rashly. A few hours later, Emo Qingyun walked out of the Pang clan's residence with a satisfied smile on his face. Although the Pang clan's treasures were not as good as the Baibian clan's, they were still very rich and made up for the money he had spent. After leaving the Pang clan's residence, Emo Qingyun cast a fire spell and burned the entire Pang clan's residence. Boom! A raging flame instantly ignited in the Pang clan's residence and engulfed it. Seeing the Pang clan's residence in flames, the surrounding crowd sighed in their hearts. Their emotions became even more complicated. At this moment, they could not help but think that perhaps one day, their clans would suffer the same fate. The Pang clan's daughter? The Pang clan's patriarch's daughter? Emo Qingyun walked up to Pang Rui with a mocking look in his eyes as he asked Pang Rui. When she heard Emo Qingyun's words, Pang Rui's eyes filled with hatred and she roared at Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun, kill me if you have the ability. Otherwise, I'll grind your bones to dust one day. I'm afraid you won't have that chance. Looking at Pang Rui in front of him, Emo Qingyun's expression was cold as he raised his hand and sent a palm strike at her. Next, a majestic wave of immortal spiritual force shot out of Emo Qingyun's palm and blasted into Pang Rui's body. Pang Rui's face immediately paled, and she spat out a mouthful of blood from Emo Qingyun's palm strike. Soon after, Pang Rui's aura rapidly weakened. Before long, Pang Rui had become a cripple and her body fell limply to the ground. I won't kill you, but I want you to feel what it's like to be looked down upon from above. Chapter 1457. Seeing Emo Qingyun cripple Pang Rui, ghostly Moon Rain Shi's expression trembled and showed a strong sense of fear. With Emo Qingyun's current strength, even if ghostly Moon Baku Ping wanted to protect her, it would be impossible. Let's go. Glancing at ghostly Moon Rain Shi, Emo Qingyun did not say anything and called the two girls to leave the Pang family. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the two girls nodded and followed Emo Qingyun back to the ghostly Moon Manor. Seeing Emo Qingyun and the others leave, the crowd that came to watch the show also left. Mr. Emo, Yushi offended you with her words earlier, how do you plan to punish her? On the way back to the ghostly Moon Manor, ghostly Moon Baku Ping asked Emo Qingyun for his opinion. He wanted to know how he would punish ghostly Moon Rain Shi. Hearing ghostly Moon Baku Ping's question, Emo Qingyun stopped and looked at ghostly Moon Rain Shi. Seeing Emo Qingyun looking at her, ghostly Moon Rain Shi's delicate body trembled, and a terrified expression appeared on her face. Could it be that Emo Qingyun wanted to punish her now? She is a member of the ghostly Moon clan. As for how to punish her, Patriarch Baku Ping, you decide. Emo Qingyun looked at ghostly Moon Rain Shi and then withdrew his gaze from her. He let ghostly Moon Baku Ping punish her himself. Okay. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, ghostly Moon Baku Ping immediately nodded in response. He had already decided on how to punish ghostly Moon Rain Shi. On the way back, Emo Qingyun and the others did not speak. Each of them had their own thoughts. After a while, when Emo Qingyun and the others returned to the ghostly Moon Manor, they separated. Take ghostly Moon Rain Shi to the Ancestral Hall. After separating from Emo Qingyun and the others, ghostly Moon Baku Ping showed an angry expression and ordered a young man beside him. Hearing ghostly Moon Baku Ping's order, the young man immediately took ghostly Moon Rain Shi to the Ancestral Hall. Not long after, Ghost Moon Yushi was escorted to the Ghost Moon Clan's Ancestral Hall. Ma, Patriarch, I was wrong. Please give me a chance to change. Ghostly Moon Yushi was kneeling in the middle of the Ancestral Hall. Her face was filled with fear as she begged ghostly Moon Baku for mercy. Humph. Do you know that because of your mistake, the Ghost Moon Clan was almost annihilated? Hearing ghostly Moon Yushi's pleading, Gyugan Ping coldly snorted. His face was extremely gloomy as he shouted, Men, cripple ghostly Moon Yushi's cultivation for me, break her tendons and kick her out of the Guiyu clan, never to return to the clan ever again. Yes. Hearing Gao Guiyu Hanhei's order, one of the youths nodded and began to execute Guiyu Yushi. Seeing Ghost Moon Baoping's action, Ghost Moon Rainey's pretty face twitched. She had a terrified expression as she shouted, No! Don't cripple my cultivation. Before ghostly Moon Yushi could finish her words, her dantian exploded, and her wrists and ankles were sliced open with wounds. After Ghost Moon Yushi's cultivation was crippled and her tendons and legs were cut, she was kicked out of the Ghost Moon clan. After doing all this, Ghost Moon Gon Ping got up and left the Ancestral Hall. At the same time, he sternly said to the people behind him, Immediately pass down the order, no one is to plead for Ghost Moon Yushi. Otherwise, Ghost Moon Yushi will be punished as well. Yes. Hearing Ghost Moon Gone Ping's order, everyone's expression changed. They knew that Ghost Moon Gone Ping was really angry. But thinking about it, if Mo Qingyun didn't care about Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao's face, the Ghost Moon clan wouldn't be able to escape this calamity. Thinking of this, the elders of the Ghost Moon clan felt as if they had just survived a calamity. In Mo Qingyun's small courtyard. Yunyun, why do you look a little depressed? Do you have something on your mind? After returning to his small courtyard, Mo Qingyun saw that Chu Yunyun's brows were tightly knitted. She seemed to be thinking about something. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Yunyun's beautiful face immediately changed. She revealed an expression of wanting to say something but hesitated. Seeing Chu Yunyun's reaction, Mo Qingyun revealed a puzzled expression. He turned to look at Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao. Seeing Mo Qingyun looking at her, Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao faintly smiled and said, "The matter is like this, Yunyun promised one of her clan sisters that she would be her clan sister's bridesmaid. But Yunyun is afraid that being a bridesmaid would be troublesome, so she wants you to accompany her." Hearing Ghost Moon Xiao Xiao's words, Chu Yunyun revealed an expectant gaze, hoping that Mo Qingyun would agree. Under Chu Yunyun's expectant gaze, Mo Qingyun didn't mind and smiled. He nodded to Chu Yunyun and said, "Of course, that's not a problem. When are we leaving?" "Qingyun, you really agree?" Seeing that Mo Qingyun was willing to go with her, Chu Yunyun's face immediately lit up with joy and her expression became excited. Soon after, Chu Yunyun no longer hesitated and told Mo Qingyun the time and place of being a bridesmaid. "In 5 days, we'll go to Nanhua City for the wedding?" After hearing Chu Yunyun's explanation, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. After pondering for a moment, he said, "I previously promised a friend that I would immediately make a trip to the Sky Devil Talisman stronghold with him. I'm afraid that I won't be able to go to the Chu clan with you." Mo Qingyun explained the reason. After pondering for a moment, he said to Chu Yunyun, "How about this, follow head Chu back to the Chu clan first. After that, you can head to Nanhua City first. We'll meet up there in 5 days, just like at the 100 Change clan." "All right." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Chu Yunyun immediately nodded in agreement. She was very satisfied with Mo Qingyun's arrangements. In this way, Mo Qingyun would not break his promise and could also accompany her to attend Chu Jiao's wedding. Following which, Mo Qingyun left some instructions to Chu Yunyun and Chu Yunyun before leaving the Ghost Moon Manor. After leaving the Ghost Moon Manor, Mo Qingyun directly headed to the Ping Boat Inn to meet up with Wenchang and the rest who were waiting for him. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Ping Boat Inn and saw Wenchang and the rest waiting for him. "Brother Mo, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun enter the Ping Boat Inn, Wenchang and the rest were delighted. They hurriedly welcomed Mo Qingyun and asked, "Brother Mo, have you arranged everything?" "It's all arranged." Mo Qingyun nodded. He glanced at Wenchang and the rest and said, "If there's nothing else, let's head to the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold now." As he had promised Chu Yunyun that he would accompany her to Nanhua City to attend the wedding, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste any more time. "All right." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wenchang did not dare to delay and immediately led Mo Qingyun to the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. Soon after, Mo Qingyun rode on the golden-crowned snake-feathered eagle and headed towards the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold with Wenchang and the rest. There are still a few days before we reach the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. During this time, I can sort out my recent gains. Chapter 1458. Mo Qingyun took out all the loot from the 100 Transformation clan. The 100 Transformation Golden Peaks Supreme Grade halberd fell into Mo Qingyun's line of sight. Due to some trivial matters, I forgot about this halberd. Picking up the halberd used by the 100 Transformations Golden Peak, Mo Qingyun revealed an expectant expression as he carefully observed the halberd. Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. Under Emo Qingyun's observation, the 4 simple words on the halberd fell into his line of sight. After examining the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd's exterior, Emo Qingyun released a surge of immortal spiritual energy into the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. As the immortal spiritual energy entered the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd, a shocking flame energy erupted from the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. This Scarlet Meteorite Halberd seems to have a special reaction to the power of the stars. Under Emo Qingyun's control of the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd, he immediately discovered the peculiarity of the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. After discovering this, Emo Qingyun couldn't wait to release a surge of immortal spiritual energy into the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. Buzz. As the immortal spiritual energy entered the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd, the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd immediately trembled, forming a strong resonance with the immortal spiritual energy. At the same time, the power of the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd increased by nearly 2 times. This Scarlet Meteorite Halberd's power can be increased by nearly 2 times when using immortal spiritual energy. This discovery really shocked Emo Qingyun. He couldn't help but sigh. It seems that the immortal immolating halberd's power is indeed several levels weaker than the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd. Now that he knew how extraordinary the Scarlet Meteorite Battle Halberd was, Emo Qingyun made a simple estimation of his own strength and said, "With this Scarlet Meteorite Battle Halberd in my hands, I'll be able to fight against a lesser Star Realm expert even without using any of my trump cards." After fiddling with the Scarlet Meteorite Halberd in his hands, Emo Qingyun put it away. He didn't plan to refine it for the time being. Putting away the Scarlet Meteorite Battle Halberd, Emo Qingyun began to check the other items, categorizing them one by one. The 100 Transformations clan was worthy of being a clan that had been passed down for 10,000 years. The clan's foundation was very deep, and the number of treasures they had collected was very shocking. According to Emo Qingyun's rough calculations, if the 100 Transformations clan's treasures were used up, they could probably nurture over 100 great star-level powerhouses. With these resources in hand, I can build my own force. After taking stock of the 100 Change clan's collection, a plan appeared in Emo Qingyun's mind. He was considering whether or not he should establish his own force. After all, it was too difficult for him to find Long Hanyan in the entire wild continent by himself. Suppressing these thoughts, Emo Qingyun took out the Pang family's treasures and began to organize them one by one. Although the Pang family's collection was not as good as the 100 Transformations families, it was not to be outdone in terms of quantity. There were all kinds of cultivation resources. Although these cultivation resources were not really rare in the true sense, if Emo Qingyun wanted to establish his force, these cultivation resources were the most suitable. Because the cultivation materials were too rare, Emo Qingyun did not have the opportunity to use them when he first established his force. Time passed quietly as Emo Qingyun took stock of the items. In the blink of an eye, more than half a day had passed. With Emo Qingyun and the others hurrying along, they arrived in front of a huge mountain range. "Brother Emo, after crossing this Heavenly Devil mountain range, the Heavenly Devil Ridge is in front of us." Pointing to the mountain range in front of them, when Chang introduced it to Emo Qingyun with an anxious expression, it could be seen that he was actually very worried about the situation of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. "Okay." Hearing this, Emo Qingyun nodded in response and glanced at the endless mountain range in front of them. Immediately, Emo Qingyun continued to take stock of the items and sorted out the remaining items. After an unknown period of time, when Chang and the others stopped flying and stood above an ordinary village. "Brother Emo, we're here." Standing above the ordinary village, when Chang revealed a bright smile and flew down with Emo Qingyun. Seeing Wen Chang's action, Emo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He was a little surprised by the appearance of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. From the appearance of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, it did not look like a big force. Instead, it looked more like a refugee camp. Although Emo Qingyun was full of doubts, he did not say anything. He just followed Wenchang silently. After a while, Emo Qingyun arrived at the interior of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold with Wenchang leading the way. When everyone arrived at the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, they dispersed and went about their own business. "Brother Emo, I'll bring you to see the stronghold master now." After bringing Emo Qingyun into the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, Wenchang made a gesture of invitation and led the way for Emo Qingyun. Seeing Wenchang's action, Emo Qingyun nodded his head and followed him to see the stronghold master of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. After a while, Emo Qingyun walked into a simple wooden house with Wenchang leading the way. At this moment, there were a few elders sitting in the wooden house. Every one of them emitted a powerful aura. Based on Emo Qingyun's senses, he was certain that these old men were all major star realm powerhouses. Greetings, Stronghold Master, elders. Wenchang walked into the wooden house. He had a respectful expression on his face and bowed to everyone in the wooden house. Greetings, seniors. When Wenchang bowed, Emo Qingyun also bowed to everyone out of politeness. No matter what, these people were all seniors of the Heavenly Devil Talisman sect and could be considered as his sect's elders. Therefore, it was natural for Emo Qingyun to bow to these people. "Wenchang, who is this little brother?" Seeing Emo Qingyun who came with Wenchang, all the elders were curious and asked about Emo Qingyun's background. "Stronghold Master, elders, this is Emo Qingyun. He came from the Heavenly Devil Talisman sect on the Immortal Road." Seeing that everyone was asking about Emo Qingyun's identity, Wenchang had an excited expression. He introduced Emo Qingyun to them and said, "This is Brother Emo. He is the #1 genius since the founding of our Heavenly Devil Talisman sect. Although he is only at the immortal infant stage, he has mastered." Then, Wenchang eloquently recounted Emo Qingyun's shocking battle achievements. However, when the elders in the wooden house heard Wenchang's narration, they all had doubtful expressions. They did not believe Wenchang's words. This was because Wenchang's words were too ridiculous. Emo Qingyun, who was only at the immortal infant stage, was able to kill an expert at the constellation stage. This was utter nonsense. "Wenchang, you don't have to say any more. We understand what you mean." Heavenly Devil Talisman Stronghold Master Yao Yunli raised his hand and interrupted Wenchang's words. He smiled faintly and said, "Show little brother Emo around first. After we finish discussing some things, I will guide little brother Emo in his cultivation." Hearing Yao Yunli's words, Wenchang's expression instantly became gloomy. In Yao Yunli's eyes, he had been deliberately bragging about Emo Qingyun and how good Emo Qingyun's talent was. Then, he would let Emo Qingyun ask Yao Yunli and the others for guidance and have the opportunity to enter Yao Yunli's sect. Chapter 1459. Stockade Master Brother Emo is really. Wenchang calmed the gloominess in his heart. He revealed an unwilling expression and wanted to explain to Yao Yunli and the others. However, before Wenchang could finish his sentence, Emo Qingyun raised his hand and interrupted him. "Wenchang, this is my first time in the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. Why don't you show me around? Seniors, we will take our leave first." After Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he pulled Wenchang out of the wooden house. Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, Yao Yunli and the rest were impressed. They felt that Emo Qingyun was very polite. "Stockade Master, what do you think of this Emo Qingyun?" After Emo Qingyun and Yao Yunli left the wooden house, an elder in the wooden house asked Yao Yunli for her opinion of Emo Qingyun. Hearing the elder's question, Yao Yunli pondered for a moment and said with a look of admiration, "From my observation, this Emo Qingyun's real age should not be more than 100 years old. To have such a cultivation at such a young age, he is indeed a good seedling." It was obvious that Emo Qingyun gave Yao Yunli a good first impression. Although Emo Qingyun's cultivation talent is not bad, That kid Wenchang's boasting is too ridiculous. Haha, look at that kid Wenchang. It's as if he's afraid that we won't guide Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun is really from the Heavenly Devil Talisman sect on the Immortal Road, it's natural for us to guide him. But what if he isn't? Elder Yaoheng, are you saying that Mo Qingyun might be a spy sent by the 9 Great Immortal Gates? We can't rule out this possibility. We have to be careful. It's not like this hasn't happened before. Speaking of Mo Qingyun's background and identity, Yao Yunli and the others became vigilant. They raised their guard against Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't know what Yao Yunli and the others were thinking. Of course, even if he knew, he wouldn't care. He had only come to the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold because of his friendship with the Heavenly Devil Talisman sect. He wanted to help the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold resolve the crisis. Once he destroyed the 9 Great Immortal Gates and resolved the crisis of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, he would not stay here any longer. Brother Mo, why did you pull me out of the wooden house and not allow me to explain things to Fort Master and the rest? Wenchang was pulled out of the wooden house by Mo Qingyun. He had a puzzled expression and asked Mo Qingyun for his opinion. In his opinion, if Mo Qingyun revealed his strength, Yao Yunli and the others would not dare to slight him. I came to the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold to help you resolve the crisis. You don't have to care about anything else. Looking at the indignant Wenchang, Mo Qingyun gave him a comforting smile. He patted his shoulder and said, "Bring me around the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. Tell me about the situation of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold and the specific situation of the 9 Great Immortal Gate." All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wenchang didn't dare to hesitate. He immediately brought Mo Qingyun around the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. After walking around the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold for a while, Mo Qingyun discovered that the structure of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold was roughly divided into 2 parts: the inner stronghold and the outer stronghold. The inner stronghold was for the people of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold to live in. The outer stronghold was for the people of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold to farm and plant various spiritual items and immortal treasures. About 2 hours later, after walking around the entire Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, Mo Qingyun asked with a puzzled expression, "Wenchang, why are the residences of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold all these short wooden houses? Could there be some secret behind this?" In Mo Qingyun's earlier observation, he discovered that these wooden houses were extremely unique. They contained an obscure power. Therefore, Mo Qingyun felt that the wooden houses of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold must have an extraordinary origin. To tell you the truth, we didn't build these wooden houses. It's said that these wooden houses already existed when the first stronghold master came. Hearing Mo Qingyun ask about these wooden houses, Wenchang revealed a solemn expression and explained the history of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold to Mo Qingyun. It said that the first stronghold master fled with his disciples in order to escape the pursuit of the 9 Great Immortal Gates. He accidentally came to the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold and settled down here. I didn't expect the enmity between the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold and the 9 Great Immortal Gates to have such a long history. Hearing Wenchang's explanation, Mo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression. There was a lot of enmity between the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold and the 9 Great Immortal Gates. Just as Mo Qingyun was sighing in his heart, he couldn't help but become even more curious about the origins of these wooden houses. Apart from escaping the pursuit of the 9 Great Immortal Gates, the first stronghold master settled down here for another very important reason. While Mo Qingyun was inspecting the wooden houses, Wenchang revealed a solemn expression and pointed at the land outside the stronghold. When the first stronghold master came here, he discovered that the land outside the stronghold could grow all sorts of spiritual items and immortal treasures. It could help the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold develop and strengthen. Hearing Wen Chang's explanation, Mo Qingyun's understanding of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold immediately deepened. So there were so many secrets behind the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold's establishment here. Thinking of this, Mo Qingyun became even more puzzled. He asked Wen Chang with a puzzled expression, since the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold has shaken off the people of the 9 Great Immortal Gates and successfully established itself here, how did the people of the 9 Great Immortal Gates find their way here? Wen Chang immediately revealed a furious expression when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. His face darkened as he said furiously, "The people of the 9 Great Immortal Gates were able to find their way here because a traitor appeared in the stronghold." A traitor? Mo Qingyun was shocked. He was very surprised by Wen Chang's words. It was indeed quite infuriating. Over 500 years ago, after the previous old stronghold master passed away, the stronghold master and several elders began to fight over the position of stronghold master. Wen Chang revealed a reminiscing expression as he recalled the events of 500 years ago. He slowly recounted the events of 500 years ago to Mo Qingyun. Back then, the second elder was the most promising candidate for the position of stronghold master among the many competitors. Unfortunately, the second elder was too ambitious. In order to obtain the position of stronghold master, he did not hesitate to secretly kill the fourth elder. Later on, Wen Chang then recounted some of the secrets to Mo Qingyun without holding anything back. The gist of it was that after the second elder killed the fourth elder, his actions were exposed. Seeing that his actions had been exposed, the second elder fled with a group of clansmen and coincidentally ran into the people of the 9 Great Immortal Gate. Later on, the second elder hit it off with the 9 Great Immortal Gates and colluded with the 9 Great Immortal Gate. He led the 9 Great Immortal Gates to attack the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold. Due to the large number of people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates, the situation of the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold grew more and more dire as the battles continued. If they still could not find outside help, the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold would probably fall before long. This second elder is truly naive. After hearing Wen Chang's description, Mo Qingyun developed a strong sense of disdain and mockery towards the second elder. He thinks that the 9 Great Immortal Gates will spare him if he helps the 9 Great Immortal Gates take down the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold. What a delightful dream! As Mo Qingyun and Wen Chang conversed, terrifying auras suddenly approached the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold rapidly. Chapter 1460. Not good, the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates are here. Sensing the powerful aura, Wen Chang's face immediately darkened and his expression became tense. Compared to Wen Chang's worry, Mo Qingyun was much calmer. He revealed a playful smile and said, "They're already here? That's pretty fast." Mo Qingyun smiled and muttered to himself. He patted Wen Chang's shoulder and said, "Don't worry, let's go meet the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wen Chang's expression immediately changed and the worry on his face disappeared. Due to their habitual thinking, when they heard that the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates were here, they instinctively panicked. However, they didn't know that with Mo Qingyun here, the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates were basically asking for death. Immediately, Mo Qingyun and Wen Chang went to fight the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gate. When Mo Qingyun flew towards the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gates, Yao Yunli and the others were also flying towards them. They were preparing to defend against the people from the 9 Great Immortal Gate. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Yao Yunli's actions, Yao Yunli's expression immediately turned serious. She sternly scolded Wen Chang. "Wen Chang, why did you bring little friend Mo here? Take him away from here immediately." From Yao Yunli's point of view, it was too dangerous for an immortal infant stage cultivator to sneak into a battle like this. Hearing Yao Yunli's words, Wen Chang immediately revealed a bitter smile. He didn't know what to say. He brought Mo Qingyun here to save the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. Now, Yao Yunli actually asked Mo Qingyun to take her away. Was there anything more ridiculous than this? What are you waiting for? When Elder Yao Hing saw that Wen Chang was standing there in a daze and did not follow Yao Yunli's instructions, he scolded him. Seeing the actions of Yao Yunli and the rest, Wen Chang was completely speechless. He looked at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Brother Mo, what do we do now? Fort Master and the others don't believe that you can help the heavenly devil talisman stronghold survive this crisis. Let's go to the side and see if the 9 great immortal gates have any backup plans before we decide how to help the heavenly devil talisman stronghold." After glancing at the 9 great immortal gates, Mo Qingyun retreated with Wen Chang. He wasn't in a hurry to attack. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wen Chang retreated with Mo Qingyun and listened to Mo Qingyun's instructions. This Mo Qingyun may be young, but to be able to make Wen Chang listen to him, he is indeed not simple. Seeing that Mo Qingyun retreated with Wen Chang, Yao Yunli and the rest looked at him with admiration and thought even more highly of him. They were very clear about Wen Chang's character. He belonged to the wild and untamed type. However, with Wen Chang's character, he listened to Mo Qingyun's words. This showed that Mo Qingyun was not an ordinary person. While Mo Qingyun retreated with Wen Chang, Yao Yunli and the rest faced off against the people of the 9 great immortal gates in midair. Yao Yunli, you should surrender yourselves. Don't put up any unnecessary resistance. A middle-aged man in golden armor looked at Yao Yunli with a cold and arrogant expression, showing a condescending attitude. This person is the vice-sect master of the Golden Talisman sect, Golden Saber. He is at the Middle Great Star Realm, Wen Chang whispered into Mo Qingyun's ear as he introduced the middle-aged man in golden armor. Hearing Wen Chang's words, Mo Qingyun didn't reply. He only looked at Golden Saber and the rest indifferently. After showing off his strength to Yao Yunli and the rest, Golden Saber pointed at a black-clothed old man beside him and said, "People of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, listen up. As long as you are willing to abandon the darkness and join the light, and follow Yao Shufeng from now on, we can forget about the mistakes you have made in the past." As Golden Saber's words fell, the black-clothed old man, Yao Shufeng, revealed a cold smile. He slowly walked out from the crowd and said, "Fellow clansmen, Yao Yunli and the rest tampered with the old chief's decree and claimed to be the new chief of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. They should be cut into pieces, pooh!" Without waiting for Yao Shufeng to finish his words, Yao Hing angrily shouted and viciously spat on his face. Then, he ridiculed, "Yao Shufeng, I see that your underwear is covering your head. Acting pretentious to the point that you don't even care about your face anymore. What you said just now, were you talking about yourself? He is the traitor, the second elder?" Seeing Yao Hing insult Yao Shufeng, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold expression and guessed Yao Shufeng's identity. "That's right, it's him." Seeing Mo Qingyun ask about Yao Shufeng, Wen Chang's face immediately darkened and revealed a furious expression. After knowing Yao Shufeng's identity, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding and made some plans in his heart. If that was the case, then Yao Shufeng could not be left alive. When Yao Shufeng heard Yao Heng's insults, his face immediately turned ugly and he looked at Yao Heng with a cold gaze. If it were not for the fact that he was wary of the heavenly devil talisman's stronghold strength, he would have attacked Yao Heng right now and directly killed him. Seeing Yao Shufeng's unhappy expression, an old man wearing a monk's robe walked to Yao Shufeng's side and said, "Chief Yao, he is only a traitor of the heavenly devil talisman's stronghold. You don't need to be angry with him. After we take down the heavenly devil talisman's stronghold, you can slowly torture him." Master Ku Wu's words are reasonable. How can I be so calculative with a traitor? When he heard the old man's words, Yao Shufeng's expression softened and he revealed a sinister smile. If that's the case, then I have made a fool of myself. After I regain control of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, I will definitely properly govern it. Seeing the arrogant Yao Shufeng, Yao Heng's face turned cold and he once again shouted at Yao Shufeng, "Yao Shufeng, don't talk nonsense. If you have the ability, then fight with me. See how I will personally kill a traitor like you." When he saw Yao Heng provoking him, no matter how good Yao Shufeng's temper was, he could no longer endure it. If he could not even deal with Yao Heng, how could he control the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold in the future? "Yao Heng, since you are courting death, I will fulfill your wish." After Yao Shufeng's words, he charged towards Yao Heng and began to fight with him. The moment Yao Heng and Yao Shufeng attacked, the difference between the two immediately became apparent. Although Yao Heng used the method of exchanging life for life, he was crazily fighting with Yao Shufeng. However, each of his attacks was easily neutralized by Yao Shufeng. He was unable to pose a threat to Yao Shufeng at all. It could not be helped. Yao Heng was only at the early Greater Star Realm, while Yao Shufeng was at the Middle Greater Star Realm. In addition, Yao Shufeng's star level was much higher than Yao Heng's star level. If Yao Heng did not attack so ruthlessly, the result of the battle between the two would have already been decided. Looking at the current situation, I'm afraid Elder Yao Heng will be defeated within 10 breaths. Looking at the situation between Yao Heng and Yao Shufeng, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with emotions. He could already foresee the outcome of the battle. Yao Heng will be defeated within 10 moves? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, not only was Wen Chang shocked, Yao Yunli and the rest were also shocked. Mo Qingyun was only at the immortal infant stage. How could he determine the outcome of this battle? Chapter 1461. This brat dares to boost the morale of others while diminishing the morale of his own people. This is too much. Sigh. Looks like I overestimated him. He's still too young. Although his words are unpleasant to hear, Elder Yao Heng's current situation is indeed not very optimistic. Indeed, based on the current situation, it will be very difficult for Elder Yao Heng to win. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yao Yunli and the rest tensed up and their hearts sank. Immediately, Yao Yunli and the rest tensed up as they nervously watched the battle between Yao Heng and Yao Shufeng. 1 breath, 2 breath, 3 breath, 10 breath. 10 breaths passed in the blink of an eye. In these 10 breaths, Yao Heng and Yao Shufeng had exchanged blows at least 100 times, each time causing the earth to tremble. At this moment, Yao Shufeng suddenly revealed a sinister smile and his expression turned cold. "Yao Heng, I've played enough with you. It's time to send you on your way." Immortal technique, piercing God finger. Yao Shufeng pointed his finger and a black light flashed on his index finger, shooting out a cold ray of light. This ray of light shot out from Yao Shufeng's finger like a venomous snake in the dark, heading straight for Yao Heng's head. Seeing Yao Shufeng's action, Yao Heng's expression changed and his face turned pale. If he was hit by Yao Shufeng's finger, his divine soul would definitely be destroyed. Seeing Yao Heng's current situation, Yao Yunli and the rest's expression changed, and they shouted in fear, "Yao Shufeng, stop!" However, Yao Shufeng chose to turn a blind eye to their words, and continued to attack Yao Heng without slowing down at all. "Yao Heng, go to hell!" Seeing that the ray of light was getting closer and closer to Yao Heng, Yao Shufeng's expression became colder and colder, and his complacency became more and more intense. Swoosh! Just as Yao Shufeng was getting carried away, an oppressive ray of eye power suddenly shot towards him. Seeing this ray of eye power, Yao Shufeng's expression changed and revealed a trace of panic. Immediately, Yao Shufeng dodged to the side to avoid this ray of eye power. When Yao Shufeng dodged the ray of eye power hit the ray of light and blocked it. Bang! When the finger beam and the eye beam collided, a low rumble was heard and a small spirit energy storm was created. Hit by the spirit energy storm, Yao Heng was immediately sent flying, pulling some distance away from Yao Shufeng. Soon after, Yao Heng was out of danger, preventing Yao Shufeng from continuing to pursue him. Seeing this scene, Yao Heng could not help but break out in cold sweat, feeling as if he had just survived a calamity. If it wasn't for that ray of eye power that intercepted Yao Shufeng's finger light, his soul would have been destroyed by now. But who was it that had blocked Yao Shufeng's finger for him at that critical moment? With such doubts in mind, everyone turned their gazes in the direction where the ray of eye energy had come from. Soon, everyone saw the person who had just attacked, and they were all shocked. Emo Qingyun. The person who had attacked just now was actually the Emo Qingyun that they had overlooked. It was actually him. Knowing that the person who had saved Yao Heng was actually Emo Qingyun, who was standing beside Wenchang, Yao Yunli and the rest were all stunned. Emo Qingyun saved Elder Yao Heng? Could it be that we've made a mistake? It shouldn't be wrong. We know Wenchang's ability very well. He doesn't know how to use such methods. Did you guys notice that the time when Elder Yao Heng was defeated just happened to be the 10th breath? Elder Yao Zhuang, according to what you said, Emo Qingyun could predict the future and accurately calculated the time to save him? Hiss. If that's really the case, then Emo Qingyun's prediction ability is too terrifying. The more Yao Yunli and the rest thought about it, the more scared and shocked they became. They found that they could not see through Emo Qingyun anymore. Logically speaking, a kid at the immortal infant stage should not have such ability. However, the truth was right in front of them. They had no choice but to believe it. Compared to the shock of Yao Yunli and the rest, Yao Shufeng was incomparably furious. A great opportunity to kill Yao Heng was actually ruined by a kid at the immortal infant stage. His plan was completely disrupted. This kind of thing was really unbearable for him. Kid, you're courting death. Seeing that Emo Qingyun had ruined his plan, Yao Shufeng's face revealed a ferocious expression. He quickly pounced towards Emo Qingyun. Seeing Yao Shufeng's action, Yao Yunli and the rest were shocked. They angrily shouted, "Yao Shufeng, you shameless bastard! You actually attacked a junior at the immortal infant stage. Quickly stop!" After Yao Yunli and the rest finished speaking, they no longer hesitated and rushed towards Yao Shufeng. Everyone, Fort Master Yao is dealing with a meddlesome kid. It's better if you all don't interfere. Before Yao Yunli and the rest could move, their path was blocked by Golden Saber and the rest. You all, seeing Golden Saber and the rest's actions, Yao Yunli and the rest became anxious. They widened their eyes and glared at Golden Saber and the rest. Immediately, Yao Yunli and the rest attacked crazily, wanting to break through Golden Saber and the rest's blockade. Emo Qingyun had angered Yao Shufeng because he had saved Elder Yao Heng. Logically speaking, they couldn't just watch as Emo Qingyun died in Yao Shufeng's hands. However, Golden Saber and the rest were too strong. Even if Yao Yunli and the rest used all their strength, they still couldn't break through the blockade. Subsequently, Yao Yunli and the rest revealed a guilty expression as they watched Yao Shufeng rush towards Emo Qingyun. Yao Shufeng, you're courting death. You can't blame others. Seeing Yao Shufeng attack Emo Qingyun, Wenchang revealed a sympathetic expression and said a mocking sentence. Of all the people Yao Shufeng could find trouble with, he just had to find trouble with Emo Qingyun. This was simply like using a lantern to go to the toilet. He was courting death. Wenchang, don't tell me you think you can stop this old man? Yao Shufeng obviously didn't believe that Emo Qingyun had the ability to kill him. From his point of view, Wenchang's words were just to stop him from dealing with Emo Qingyun. Just as Yao Shufeng said those words, a huge gray figure suddenly appeared in front of Emo Qingyun. The moment this huge figure appeared, it released the strength of a great star realm middle stage cultivator and rushed towards Yao Shufeng. A great star realm middle stage cultivator. Sensing the aura released by the ghost, Yao Shufeng's expression immediately changed. He was quite frightened by this turn of events. He never thought that there would be such a strong existence by Mo Qingyun's side. Soul prison. While Yao Shufeng was still in shock, a majestic soul power suddenly blasted out from Mo Qingyun's left eye. This soul power blasted out and turned into many soul chains, smashing into Yao Shufeng's sea of consciousness. Ah! After being hit by a soul attack, Yao Shufeng immediately cried out, his head buzzing. Then, everyone saw Yao Shufeng's body stiffen, standing in front of Mo Qingyun in a daze. Bang! While Yao Shufeng was in a daze, the ghost attacked him with a palm, instantly blowing his head apart. After seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. They felt that it was too surreal. Chapter 1462. Damned brat, you actually dared to plot against me. The moment his head was smashed by the ghost, Yao Shufeng's soul escaped and said a venomous sentence. When Yao Shufeng said this, he didn't dare to hesitate and immediately ran towards Golden Saber and the rest. Now, if he wanted to save his life, he had to borrow the power of Golden Saber and the rest. Plot against you? Is there a need for that? Seeing Yao Shufeng's soul running for his life, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly, revealing a trace of disdain and ridicule. While Mo Qingyun's face was filled with disdain and ridicule, a burst of violent immortal spiritual energy shot out from his right eye. When this burst of immortal spiritual energy shot out, it turned into a ray of sword light and chased after Yao Shufeng with extreme speed. Vice head Golden Saber, save me. Seeing the ray of sword light chasing after him, Yao Shufeng's face revealed a panicked expression and he hurriedly begged Golden Saber for help. Hearing Yao Shufeng's cry for help, Golden Saber and the rest were shocked and prepared to block the ray of sword light. However, the ray of sword light's attack speed was too fast. Before Golden Saber and the rest could do anything, it had already hit Yao Shufeng's soul. Pucci. Receiving the tyrannical attack of the ray of sword light, Yao Shufeng's soul was instantly destroyed and dissipated between heaven and earth. Seeing Mo Qingyun kill Yao Shufeng in the blink of an eye, Golden Saber revealed a shocked expression and said, Yao Yunli, I didn't expect you to have found a helper. However, with just this brat and a ghost, they won't be able to change the current situation. Hearing Golden Saber's words, the surprise on Yao Yunli and the rest's faces instantly disappeared without a trace. What Golden Saber said was true. The difference in power between Heavenly Devil Talisman's stronghold and the 9 great immortal gates was too great. A large star middle stage ghost and Mo Qingyun were indeed unable to change the entire situation. Little friend Mo, thank you for helping us eliminate the traitors of Heavenly Devil Talisman's stronghold. Yao Yunli had a solemn expression on his face as he thanked Mo Qingyun. He then pointed at Wenchang and said, I'm afraid that my Heavenly Devil Talisman's stronghold will not be able to escape today. Please take Wenchang and some of the younger generation away and continue the bloodline of my Heavenly Devil Talisman's stronghold. Master Yu, hearing Yao Yunli's words, Wenchang's expression changed. He knew what Yao Yunli was going to say. If he was not wrong, Yao Yunli was going to risk his life against the 9 great immortal gates to buy some time for them to escape. Before Wenchang could finish his words, Yao Yunli interrupted him and said to him, Wenchang, take little friend Mo to the stronghold immediately and take all the talented younger generation away from Heavenly Devil Ridge. Tell them not to return to Heavenly Devil Ridge. Master, with Brother Mo here, we don't need to escape at all. Looking at Yao Yunli's face full of despair, Wenchang's expression was indifferent as he responded indifferently. He had seen Mo Qingyun unleash a heaven-defying technique and slaughter the strong cultivators of the constellations. With Mo Qingyun's terrifying power, it would be as easy as cutting vegetables for him to deal with the people of the 9 great immortal gates. Master, Wenchang is right. With me here, nothing will happen to the Heavenly Devil Talisman's stronghold. Mo Qingyun comforted Yao Yunli and the others for a while, and then smiled indifferently, indicating to Yao Yunli and the others to relax. Seeing Emo Qingyun's action, Yao Yunli and the others were surprised. They did not understand where Emo Qingyun's confidence came from. Could it be because of this ghost in the middle stage of the Great Star Realm? It seemed that it was far from enough. Humph! What a boastful boy! You really think you're something when you have a ghost by your side. Hearing Emo Qingyun's arrogant words, the people of the 9 great immortal gates showed disdain and snorted at Emo Qingyun. In their opinion, Emo Qingyun's current performance was simply bragging without fear of biting his tongue. Didn't I tell you that I only have one ghost by my side? Emo Qingyun showed a disdainful look and asked the people of the 9 great immortal gates in return. Then, he summoned other ghosts. Not long after, a powerful aura appeared beside Emo Qingyun. Sensing the terrifying aura, Yao Yunli and the others were immediately stunned. They looked at Emo Qingyun in shock. It turned out that the number of ghosts that Emo Qingyun controlled was not just one, but a large group of ghosts. Could it be that what Wenchang said to us before was all true? Seeing Emo Qingyun's current behavior, Yao Yunli and the others could not help but recall what Wenchang said to them before. If that was the case, they really did not have to worry about the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. Compared to the shock of Yao Yunli and the others, the people of the 9 great immortal gates were naturally overwhelmed by fear and dread. Hundreds of greater star-rank ghosts and close to 10,000 lesser star-rank ghosts. It would be too easy to destroy them. Surrounded by so many ghosts, they did not even have the chance to escape. Little friend, let's talk nicely. Looking at the thousands of ghosts around them, the people of the 9 great immortal gates were shocked. They hurriedly smiled at Emo Qingyun. They had no choice. If they did not beg for mercy now, death would await them without a doubt. You want me to let you go? That's impossible. Emo Qingyun chose to ignore the pleas of the people of the 9 great immortal gates. He said coldly, "Also, I don't mind telling you that before I came to the wasteland continent from the path of immortality, I destroyed the 9 great immortal gates on the path of immortality." What? The 9 great immortal gates on the path of immortality had been destroyed by Emo Qingyun? Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, everyone's faces trembled again. They were quite frightened by Emo Qingyun. This meant that Emo Qingyun and the 9 great immortal gates would not rest until one of them was dead. However, Emo Qingyun didn't have much of an impression of this situation where one party would fight to the death. Seeing the shocked faces of the people of the 9 great immortal gates, Emo Qingyun's smile deepened. Since I've destroyed the 9 great immortal gates on the path of immortality, there's no need for you to continue existing. As soon as Emo Qingyun finished speaking, he ordered the ghosts to kill the people of the 9 great immortal gate. Then, the ghosts charged at the people of the 9 great immortal gates, drowning them in an instant. Faced with the frenzied attacks of the ghosts, the people of the 9 great immortal gates immediately suffered a great number of casualties. It couldn't be helped. Among them, the person with the highest cultivation base was only at the mid-major star realm. Among the ghosts before them, there were more than 100 of them who were at the peak of the major star realm. With such a huge gap in strength, it would be truly strange if the people of the 9 great immortal gates could survive. Furthermore, the people of the 9 great immortal gates had been able to hold their own because Emo Qingyun hadn't summoned the ghosts of the constellations. Otherwise, the people of the 9 great immortal gates would have died even faster. Seeing the people of the 9 great immortal gates being slaughtered one after another, Yao Yunli and the others were deeply moved. They were even more convinced that Wenchang's words were true. If there were no surprises, Emo Qingyun might really have killed a constellation powerhouse. Chapter 1463. Tens of thousands of ghosts were like a pack of hungry wolves, crazily pouncing on the people of the 9 great immortal gates. Under the frenzied attacks of the ghosts, more and more people from the 9 great immortal gates were dying. Screams of agony could be heard everywhere. After a few hours, the screams stopped, and the sky above the heavenly devil talisman stronghold became peaceful again. All the people from the 9 great gates of Shi and had died in the hands of the ghost. Soul Summoning Gate. Seeing that all the people from the 9 great immortal gates had been killed, Emo Qingyun used the Soul Summoning Gate to convert the soul fragments around him. After all, when Chang had seen all his tricks, he was not afraid that Yao Yunli and the rest would see them. A light gate that looked like a reincarnation vortex was formed in mid-air, emitting a terrifying devouring force. Under the suction of this devouring force, the soul fragments floating around were quickly sucked into the gate of reincarnation. Then, one by one, ghosts of the true immortal realm walked out of the soul summoning gate. Seeing this scene, Yao Yunli and the others were dumbfounded. That's how those powerful ghosts were summoned by Emo Qingyun? Could it be that Emo Qingyun can summon ghosts of the same cultivation level as the ones he killed? If that's the case, as Emo Qingyun's strength increases, the more powerful the ghosts he can summon will be. At that time, wouldn't Emo Qingyun be able to summon ghosts at the golden celestial stage, or even higher? Hiss. That's so scary. After Yao Yunli and the rest made some deductions, they were even more shocked. If it was really as they thought, as long as Emo Qingyun was given enough time, he would be able to sweep through the entire wild continent. In the following time, Yao Yunli and the rest watched in horror as Emo Qingyun summoned ghosts one after another. After an unknown period of time, no more ghosts came out of the soul summoning gate. This meant that there were no more soul fragments around. Seeing that the surrounding soul fragments had all been converted, Emo Qingyun took out the 5-directional mini pagoda and stored the ghost in front of him. Alright, let's go back to the village. After collecting all the ghosts in front of him, Emo Qingyun revealed a kind smile and greeted Yao Yunli and the others. Mr. Emo, please. Yao Yunli and the others quivered. They immediately revealed respectful smiles and gestured to Emo Qingyun. Alright. Seeing Yao Yunli's action, Emo Qingyun didn't refuse. He nodded in response and returned to the village with Yao Yunli and the others. Soon, Emo Qingyun, Yao Yunli, and the others returned to the master's wooden house. When they returned to the wooden house, Yao Yunli immediately ordered the clansmen to serve up various delicacies and wine. Mr. Emo, please have a seat. After witnessing Emo Qingyun's strength, Yao Yunli no longer dared to put on his identity as the fort master when he returned to his wooden house. Master, I can't sit on this seat. Emo Qingyun waved his hand and rejected Yao Yunli's good intentions. He explained to Yao Yunli sternly, the Sky Demon Talisman sect and the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold are from the same sect. As the master of the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold, you can be considered a senior of the Sky Demon Talisman sect. How can I, a disciple of the Sky Demon Talisman sect, sit on your seat? Wouldn't that mess up the seniority? This, after hearing Emo Qingyun's explanation, Yao Yunli hesitated for a moment. Then, he revealed an embarrassed smile and said, if that's the case, then this old man will take advantage of his seniority. After Yao Yunli finished speaking, he sat down at the highest seat. Emo Qingyun and the rest followed suit and sat down. After Yao Yunli sat down, he revealed a grateful expression and raised his wine cup to Emo Qingyun. Mr. Emo, I really have to thank you this time. Not only did you save Yao Heng's life, you also saved our entire Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. This old man will first toast to you. Even though Emo Qingyun didn't put on airs, Yao Yunli didn't dare to take advantage of his status and truly regard himself as a senior of Emo Qingyun's sect. With his shrewd wisdom, he naturally knew that in the wasteland continent, everything was decided by strength. Master, you're too kind. Emo Qingyun raised his cup and returned the toast to Yao Yunli. After Yao Yunli toasted to Emo Qingyun, the others in the wooden house also toasted to Emo Qingyun. To this, Emo Qingyun also returned the toast one by one. After 3 rounds of wine, everyone's relationship became closer. The way they addressed each other also became much more intimate. Qingyun, how is the Sky Demon Talisman sect doing? After becoming closer to Emo Qingyun, Yao Yunli revealed a gratified expression and inquired about the Sky Demon Talisman sect's situation. The 9 great immortal gates in the Immortal Road have been destroyed. Now, our Sky Demon Talisman sect is the strongest sect. No other sect can threaten our Sky Demon Talisman sect anymore. After hearing Yao Yunli's inquiry, Emo Qingyun roughly explained the situation of the Sky Demon Talisman sect to Yao Yunli. That's good, that's good. After learning that the Sky Demon Talisman sect was doing well, Yao Yunli nodded her head in relief. She looked at Emo Qingyun expectantly and said, Qingyun, I'm old and weak now. I can't manage the Sky Demon Talisman's stronghold anymore. Since you're a disciple of the Sky Demon Talisman sect, I hope that you can help me manage the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. Yao Yunli wanted to pass her position to Emo Qingyun. After hearing Yao Yunli's words, the expressions of Yao Heng and the others immediately changed. They understood Yao Yunli's intention. They could naturally tell that Yao Yunli wanted to use this method to persuade Emo Qingyun to stay in the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. After a brief moment of surprise, Yao Heng and the others revealed expressions of anticipation. They hoped that Emo Qingyun would agree to Yao Yunli's request. Given Emo Qingyun's powerful strength, if he could stay in the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold, it would definitely be the best news for the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. Under the expectant gazes of the crowd, Emo Qingyun shook his head. His expression turned solemn as he said, Stronghold leader, I still have many matters to attend to. I'm afraid that I won't be able to stay in the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold for the time being. I can only apologize for this. It's fine, it's fine. This is my wishful thinking. When she saw Emo Qingyun's reply, Yao Yunli did not appear disappointed. She seemed to have expected this outcome. It was indeed impossible for a dragon among men like Emo Qingyun to condescend to stay in a tiny Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. Although I can't stay in the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold, I can eliminate threats for the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. Emo Qingyun pondered for a moment before he voiced his thoughts. This made Yao Yunli and the others feel slightly more at ease. Later, tell me the location of the sects at the 9 Great Immortal Gate. I'll go and uproot them. From then on, the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold will no longer be a threat. When they heard Emo Qingyun's plan, Yao Yunli and the others were delighted. Their dejected mood improved significantly. Boom! At this moment, when Emo Qingyun and the others were talking, an astonishing loud noise was heard. Following this loud noise, the ground shook as if the mountains were collapsing and the earth was cracking. When they noticed this commotion, Emo Qingyun and the others quickly got up and left the wooden house. When Emo Qingyun and the others left the wooden house, they saw a cloud of black fog that covered the sky in the inner area of the Sky Demon Talisman stronghold. Chapter 1464. Come, let's go and take a look. Emo Qingyun was bold and daring. After saying that to Yao Yunli and the rest, he took the lead and flew towards the black fog. Seeing Emo Qingyun flying towards the black fog, Yao Yunli and the rest did not fall behind and followed closely behind. Soon, a huge and deep gully appeared in front of Emo Qingyun and the rest. The black fog that filled the sky came from the ravine. Roar! If one listened carefully, they could hear roars coming from the bottom of the gully from time to time. Every time there was a roar, the ground would shake and a black fog would rise from it. Could it be that there is some powerful demonic creature sealed at the bottom of the gully? Sensing the demonic aura in the black fog, Yao Yunli's face trembled and revealed a worried expression. If that was the case, the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold would not be safe. They had to leave this place as soon as possible. The black fog gave them a feeling that it was too eerie and terrifying. It made their hair stand on end. Boom! 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 The ground shook more and more violently. The roars from the gully grew louder and more black fog came out. What Emo Chinyun and the rest did not expect was that the black fog would condense into the form of demonic beasts. When these demonic beasts formed, they bared their fangs and brandished their claws as they pounced towards Emo Chinyun and the rest. Seeing the demonic beasts pouncing towards them, Emo Chinyun and the rest were shocked. They did not expect such a turn of events. Everyone, retreat quickly. I will block these demonic beasts. Emo Chinyun revealed a solemn expression as he gazed at the black mist demon beast that assaulted him, and he ordered Yao Yunli and the others to retreat before he said, Stronghold Master, immediately lead your clansmen out of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. This place isn't suitable to stay for long. Alright. Hearing Emo Chinyun's instructions, Yao Yunli did not dare to hesitate and immediately followed Emo Chinyun's instructions. While instructing Yao Yunli and the others, Emo Chinyun summoned the ghosts to block the attacks of the demonic beasts. Although there were many demonic beasts in the black fog, their strength was not strong. They were only at the level of star accumulation. Therefore, under the attack of a large number of ghosts, the black fog demon beast's attack was quickly blocked. What gave Emo Chinyun a headache was that although these black fog beasts were scattered, they would immediately reform. It seems that, if I want to get rid of these black fog beasts, I have to start from the source. Sizing up the situation before him, Emo Chinyun had some ideas and knew what to do. Only by dealing with the existence at the bottom of the gully would they be able to exterminate these demonic beasts. Hidden door. Emo Chinyun used the concealment door to hide his body and flew into the ravine. As he went deeper into the ravine, the black fog around Emo Chinyun's body became denser and denser, and the aura he emitted became more and more shocking. Who is it? Who is blocking my evil spirit? Xiexingzi, it seems that even the heavens are not helping you. You'd better stay put. Wu Yu, you can't trap me. When I break the seal, I'll definitely kill that guy. When did your cultivation recover to the half-step golden immortal stage? Hee. You only realized it now? It's too late. As Emo Chinyun went deeper into the ravine, the conversation between the two entered his ears. There is indeed a powerful demonic being sealed at the bottom of the ravine. Hearing the voice from the bottom of the ravine, Emo Chinyun was secretly shocked. He thought to himself, judging from the current situation, the being sealed at the bottom of the ravine seems to be about to break free from the seal. It's a half-step golden immortal stage. Although it's a little troublesome to deal with, I can still protect myself. After knowing the level of the demonic being at the bottom of the ravine, Emo Chinyun's expression relaxed. Since he could protect himself, he had nothing to worry about. After a short while, Emo Chinyun finally reached the bottom of the ravine when he was about 10,000 meters deep. Following which, a huge altar with flickering lights appeared in front of Emo Chinyun. Above the altar, dazzling bolts of lightning flashed, forming a large net of flashing lightning. Within this lightning net, there was a huge black figure that was crazily twisting its body. Wu Yu, you can't trap me. Don't waste your energy. A hoarse voice came from the black figure's mouth, making one's hair stand on end. After the black figure finished speaking, a silver figure appeared above the altar and said solemnly, Xiexingzi, even if I die, I won't let you escape here and endanger the thousands of lives on the wasteland continent. Hee, I'm afraid you don't have the ability. The black figure laughed sinisterly and struggled even harder, causing the lightning net to sway continuously. If I'm not wrong, the lightning net won't be able to trap this demon. Looking at the situation in front of him, Emo Chinyun's expression tightened. He could already foresee the result. Boom, 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 under the black figure's repeated struggles, cracks gradually appeared on the altar, and it became more and more unstable. Seeing this, Emo Chinyun's expression was shocked. He tensed up and said, Not good, the demonic being sealed in the altar is about to break free from the lightning net. Make a move? Or not? Mo Qingyun hesitated. If he made a move, it might be useful, but it would put him in danger. But if he didn't make a move, once this demonic being escaped, it would definitely threaten Yao Yunli and the others outside. Crack, crack, crack. While Mo Qingyun was hesitating, more and more cracks appeared on the altar, looking like a spider web. Boom! A loud sound was heard. Under the crazy impact of Xiexingzi, the altar was completely shattered, and a spiritual energy storm erupted from it. Teleportation Gate. Seeing this spiritual energy storm wreaking havoc, Mo Qingyun hurriedly used the teleportation gate and escaped from the altar. The moment Mo Qingyun escaped, Wu Yu and Xiexingzi both frowned. Surprised expressions appeared on their faces as they said, Someone actually managed to hide from my perception and was secretly hiding here. Xiexingzi was surprised for a moment, then he rushed out of the gully and flew to the sky above the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. He said angrily, Brat, you can't escape from my hands. How dare you block my spiritual weapon? Prepare to die. Xiexingzi rushed out of the gully and discovered Mo Qingyun's existence. He quickly chased after Mo Qingyun. Not good, I've been discovered. Mo Qingyun's expression shook when he saw Xiexingzi charging towards him. He hurriedly summoned ghosts to stop him. Not good, we must trap Xiexingzi in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold before he leaves. Seeing Xiexingzi escape from the gully, Wu Yu's expression tensed up and revealed a trace of worry. Then, Wu Yu no longer hesitated and quickly formed a hand seal. Ancestral Wood Awakening. The moment Wu Yu's hand seal formed, the wooden houses in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold instantly released rays of green light. Then, the green light formed a large net that enveloped the entire heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Chapter 1465. These wooden huts are indeed not simple. So they're the foundation of a huge array. Seeing the dazzling light emitted from the wooden huts, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He had an answer to his conjecture. While Mo Qingyun was shocked, he didn't dare to hesitate and quickly summoned the Constellation Ghost. Gate of Fusion. While summoning the Constellation Ghost, Mo Qingyun also used the Gate of Fusion to fuse with the Constellation Ghost to increase his strength. A gigantic door of light suddenly appeared above Mo Qingyun, enveloping him and the specter from the constellation. Following that, Mo Qingyun and the constellation specter merged into one, quickly becoming one. Fusion. Seeing Mo Qingyun fuse with the Constellation Ghost, Xiexingzi and Wu Yu were shocked. They were very curious about such a sacred art. Under the watchful eyes of Xiexingzi and Wu Yu, Mo Qingyun's aura rose rapidly. Soon, Mo Qingyun's aura reached the Constellation Ghost's level. Constellation Ghost. Xiexingzi and Wu Yu were shocked again. They looked at Mo Qingyun with their eyes wide open. Even with their experience, they had never seen such a sacred art before. It can actually increase one's cultivation by fusing with other objects. This art is amazing. Xiexingzi licked his lips and revealed a greedy expression. He laughed sinisterly. If I had mastered this art back then, I wouldn't have been sealed here. I must obtain it. Constellation Ghost. If I join forces with this person, we might be able to suppress Xiexingzi. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Wu Yu was delighted. He was confident in sealing Xiexingzi. God of War Transformation. Blood Qi Berserk. While Wu Yu and Xiexingzi were shocked by Mo Qingyun's methods, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to hold back and used 2 more sacred arts to increase his strength. Shortly after, Mo Qingyun's figure expanded rapidly. In the blink of an eye, he was 3 times larger than before. His aura became stronger again. Middle stage constellation realm. What tricks does this brat have up his sleeves? Very good. This way we have a greater chance of sealing Xiexingzi. Sensing the change in Mo Qingyun's aura, Wu Yu's and Xie Xingzi's expressions changed again as different thoughts appeared in their minds. The sealed door. Emo Qingyun cast a few divine abilities in succession and raised his cultivation base to the extreme. He decided to strike first to gain the upper hand. A miniature version of the light gate quickly materialized in Emo Qingyun's hand and hurtled towards Xie Xingzi. Brat, you're courting death. Seeing Emo Qingyun take the initiative to deal with him, Xie Xingzi's face sank and he immediately released a wave of killing intent. In his opinion, not taking the initiative to deal with Emo Qingyun was already a huge favor to Emo Qingyun. It was one thing for Emo Qingyun to be ungrateful, but he actually took the initiative to attack him. This was simply courting death. Xie Xingzi's figure moved and turned into a series of afterimages as he closed in on Emo Qingyun at an extremely fast speed. As Xie Xingzi charged toward Emo Qingyun, a wave of dark green immortal spiritual energy burst out from his palm. The dark green immortal spiritual energy transformed into tentacles in the shape of tree roots and shot towards the sealed door. Faced with the attack of the tentacle-like tree roots, the sealed door went straight through and entered Xie Xingzi's body with undiminished power. As the sealed door entered Xie Xingzi's body, it began to seal Xie Xingzi's qi, blood, and soul, weakening his cultivation base. In the blink of an eye, Xie Xingzi's cultivation base dropped from the half-step golden immortal realm to the early-stage constellation realm. No. Impossible. How could he know such a divine ability? Realizing that his cultivation base was dropping rapidly, Xie Xingzi's face was filled with horror, like a frightened deer. As he continued to fight with Emo Qingyun, the feeling that Emo Qingyun gave him became more and more mysterious and strange. At this moment, he had developed an instinctive fear of Emo Qingyun in his heart. More importantly, there was Wu Yu, who was eyeing him covetously and was not any weaker than him. When Xie Xingzi thought of this, he no longer had the arrogance from before. Only fear of Emo Qingyun remained. Xie Xingzi's cultivation base has been weakened? Sensing the change in Xie Xingzi's aura, Wu Yu's expression immediately became joyful and excited. That's great. We might have a chance to kill this demon this time. Little friend, lend this old man a hand and kill this bastard. Thinking of this, Wu Yu did not waste any more time and immediately asked Emo Qingyun for help. What should I do? Hearing Wu Yu's request, Emo Qingyun asked Wu Yu what to do while fighting with Xie Xingzi. You only need to hold Xie Xingzi back. Leave the rest to me. Wu Yu instructed Emo Qingyun and began to form hand seals, preparing to cast a powerful super ability. Under Wu Yu's hand seals, waves of immortal spiritual energy gathered around him, emitting an aura that could destroy heaven and earth. Seeing Wu Yu's actions, Xie Xingzi was immediately shocked. He no longer paid attention to Emo Qingyun, who was fighting with him, and prepared to stop Wu Yu from casting the super ability. It's not that easy to leave. Emo Qingyun saw through Xie Xingzi's thoughts. He threw a punch at Xie Xingzi, blasting out a wave of surging immortal spiritual energy. Heavenly Soul Heaven Sealing Fist. A surge of immortal spiritual energy that resembled the water of Ju Ti rapidly gathered above Xie Xingzi, transforming into a gigantic black fist. As soon as the black fist was formed, it blasted towards Xie Xingzi, hitting him head-on in an instant. Boom! After being hit by the Heavenly Soul Sealing Fist, Xie Xingzi was trapped in a fist shadow, unable to move an inch forward. Seeing this, Xie Xingzi panicked and revealed a fearful and pleading expression. Little brother, let's talk nicely. As long as you agree to let me go, I will do anything. Little friend, you must not agree to his request. Otherwise, there will be endless troubles in the future. Seeing that Xie Xingzi was persuading Emo Qingyun, Wu Yu was shocked and hurriedly reminded Emo Qingyun. While Wu Yu was speaking, the immortal technique in his hand was completed and blasted towards Xie Xingzi, who was trapped in the fist shadow. Immortal technique, Spirit Shifting Sacred Tree. A wave of emerald green immortal spiritual energy blasted out from Wu Yu's palm and turned into a huge spirit tree. When the huge spirit tree was formed, it took root in Xie Xingzi's body and frantically devoured his immortal spiritual energy. As the spirit tree absorbed Xie Xingzi's immortal spiritual energy, it began to grow rapidly and became towering in the blink of an eye. No, I can't accept this. As the immortal spiritual energy in Xie Xingzi's body was constantly being sucked away, his aura became weaker and weaker. Seeing that Xie Xingzi's aura was weakening, Wu Yu's expression immediately relaxed and his aura also became weak. "Senior, what's wrong?" Sensing the change in Wu Yu's aura, Emo Qingyun's expression changed and he asked with concern. Hearing Emo Qingyun's question, Wu Yu smiled sadly and replied, "Little friend, there's no need to be sad. I can die without regrets now that I can exterminate this demon." Chapter 1466. Senior, Junior has a way to save you, but you will need to pay a price. Would you be willing to give it a try? Seeing Wu Yu's figure gradually dissipating, Emo Qingyun frowned and thought of a way to save him. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Wu Yu's eyes lit up and he said with an expectant expression, "What price is there to pay for someone who is about to die? If little friend has a way to save this old man, please don't hesitate to give it a try." "Okay." Seeing Wu Yu's attitude, Emo Qingyun nodded and tried to save Wu Yu. Emo Qingyun formed a hand seal and pointed at his forehead, revealing his hidden soul star. The 10 soul stars lost their concealment and immediately blossomed with dazzling light, adding a demonic aura to Emo Qingyun. Soul star, he is actually of the heavenly soul demon race. Seeing the soul star on Emo Qingyun's forehead, Wu Yu was immediately shocked and revealed a look of understanding. "No wonder this little guy said that he could save me. It turns out that he wants me to become his star general. With this little guy's talent, becoming his star general isn't a grievance." Recalling Emo Qingyun's methods, Wu Yu immediately felt relieved and recognized Emo Qingyun's identity. A strange imprint quickly appeared above Wu Yu's head and entered his body. Wu Yu did not resist Emo Qingyun's decision to accept him as a star general and cooperated with Emo Qingyun's actions with all his strength. Soon after, Emo Qingyun's process of accepting Wu Yu as a star general became abnormally smooth. A moment later, the strange imprint completely entered Wu Yu's body, making him Emo Qingyun's star general. After Wu Yu became Emo Qingyun's star general, his body stopped dissipating and slowly reformed. After a short while, Wu Yu's body reformed and he saluted Emo Qingyun as a servant and said, "Wu Yu greets master." "Senior, please get up." Seeing Wu Yu's actions, Emo Qingyun quickly helped him up and said solemnly, "Senior, I accepted you as a star general because I wanted to save you. There is no need for us to address each other as master and servant." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Wu Yu's expression changed and his impression of Emo Qingyun increased greatly. From this, it could be seen that Emo Qingyun had accepted him as a star general just now because she truly wanted to save him. She did not intend to take advantage of his precarious situation. Thinking of this, Wu Yu admired Emo Qingyun even more and quickly said, "How about this, when your strength surpasses this old master's one day, this old master will address you as master." "Yes." Upon hearing Wu Yu's suggestion, Emo Qingyun did not object and agreed to Wu Yu's suggestion. In Emo Qingyun's opinion, when his cultivation level surpassed Wu Yu's, he would indeed be qualified to become Wu Yu's master. "Senior, where did that Xie Xingzi come from?" After resolving the threat to Wu Yu's life, Emo Qingyun revealed a curious expression and inquired about Xie Xingzi's background. From Wu Yu and Xie Xingzi's attacks, Emo Qingyun could tell that Wu Yu and Xie Xingzi were from the same clan. Sigh. Hearing Emo Qingyun mention Xie Xingzi, Wu Yu revealed a melancholy expression and couldn't help but sigh. Xie Xingzi's real name is Wu Xing. He is a peerless genius of our witch-doctor clan. He broke through to the true immortal realm at the age of 100 and became a grade 4 immortal alchemist. Our clan has placed countless hopes on him. As expected. Hearing Wu Yu's explanation, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He had an answer to his conjecture. Xiexingzi and Wu Yu were indeed from the same clan. However, Mo Qingyun didn't expect Xiexingzi to be a peerless genius of the witch-doctor clan. As a peerless genius of the witch-doctor clan, Xiexingzi was later suppressed by Wu Yu. There must be a story behind this. When Wu Xing's cultivation broke through to the Immortal Lord realm, which is the Daluo Golden Immortal realm, he suddenly disappeared from the witch-doctor clan. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, Wu Yu continued to narrate the past. At this point, his expression turned grave. When Wu Xing returned to the clan, his temperament changed drastically. He became cruel, tyrannical, and bloodthirsty. For this reason, I had no choice but to join forces with many elders and set up the 1,000-wood turtle spiritual array to suppress him. Following this, Wu Yu recounted the entire story to Mo Qingyun without missing a single detail. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that the reason for Wu Xing's drastic change in temperament was actually related to the Dark Demon Clan. Dark Demon Clan. Mo Qingyun's expression changed as he realized that things weren't as simple as they seemed. Including this time, Mo Qingyun had only heard of the Dark Demon Clan 3 times. However, every time Mo Qingyun heard of the Dark Demon Clan, he would feel that the Dark Demon Clan was mysterious and powerful. You know about the Dark Demon Clan? Could it be that they've made a comeback? Seeing Mo Qingyun's expression, Wu Yu was also shocked. It was as if he was afraid of the Dark Demon Clan. In response to Wu Yu's question, Mo Qingyun shook his head and said with a solemn expression, "The Dark Demon Clan hasn't made a comeback. It's just that recently I've often heard rumors about them." That's good. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Wu Yu's expression relaxed. It was as if a stone had been lifted from his heart. Wu Yu instructed Mo Qingyun before he turned his head to look at the spirit-shifting sacred tree and formed a series of hand seals. Soon, a series of strange plant hand seals rapidly condensed in front of Wu Yu. After these strange hand seals formed, they flew toward the spirit-shifting sacred tree and landed on it. When these hand seals landed on the spirit-shifting sacred tree, the spirit-shifting sacred tree turned around and landed on the ground. Boom! When the spirit-shifting sacred tree landed on the ground, it immediately made a loud noise and stirred up a large cloud of dust. As the spirit-shifting sacred tree landed on the ground, it emitted a powerful immortal spiritual energy that slowly seeped into the ground. Under the nourishment of this immortal spiritual energy, the vegetation on the ground immediately grew rapidly, showing signs of verdant and lush vegetation. What a magical immortal technique! It can actually change the soil. Seeing the changes in the plants on the ground, Mo Qingyun was shocked. He didn't expect this immortal technique to have such an effect. Since Xiexingzi has been killed, the people of the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold don't need to leave. With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately went to find Wenchang and the others who had left. Soon, Mo Qingyun saw Wenchang and the others watching from a distance not far from the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold. "Mr. Mo, how's the situation in the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold?" Seeing Mo Qingyun approach them, Yao Yunli looked nervous and asked Mo Qingyun about the situation. "Don't worry, everyone. The problem has been solved. You can all return to the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold." Hearing Yao Yunli's worried words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and gestured for everyone to return together. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, everyone was shocked. They didn't expect such an outcome. Soon after, Yao Yunli and the others followed Mo Qingyun back to the Heavenly Demon Talisman stronghold with uneasy hearts. Chapter 1467. At this moment, the entire heavenly demon talisman stronghold had turned into a lush forest. In the interior of the forest, there was a dense spiritual energy drifting about. This place had already become a holy land for cultivation. How did the heavenly demon talisman stronghold become like this? Yao Yunli and the rest were shocked when they saw the drastic change in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold's appearance. They could not believe that this was real. Everything had happened so suddenly that they were not prepared at all. I know a senior who used a powerful secret technique to change the cultivation environment of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Emo Qingyun explained briefly when he saw the shock on Yao Yunli and the rest's faces, indirectly pointing out Wu Yu's existence. Of course, Emo Qingyun did not go into detail about Wu Yu's identity. After all, Wu Yu was from the deity clan, while Yao Yunli and the rest were from the immortal clan. In the future, Emo Qingyun might introduce them to each other, but now was not the right time. A secret technique that can change the cultivation environment. Yao Yunli and the rest were shocked when they heard Emo Qingyun's words. They did not expect there to be such an immortal technique. While Yao Yunli and the rest were still in shock, Wu Yu came to Emo Qingyun's side and said in a deep voice, "The spiritual energy here is now 10 times denser than before. Your friends should be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort if they cultivate here." "Thank you, Senior." Emo Qingyun thanked Wu Yu when he heard his words. It seemed that Wu Yu already knew that Yao Yunli and the rest were staying here. Otherwise, he would not have been able to inject all the spiritual energy of the spiritual tree into the soil. "Everyone, let's return to the stronghold first." Emo Qingyun called out to the rest and walked towards the interior of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold to discuss how to deploy it. The current cultivation environment of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold had changed tremendously. They had to treat it with caution. Otherwise, if it was discovered by a powerful sect and they wanted to take it for themselves, it would be very troublesome. On the way back to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, Wu Yu entered Emo Qingyun's soul palace to recover the mind and spirit energy he had used up. After a short while, Emo Qingyun and the others returned to the wooden hut and sat in their original seat. "Qingyun, now that the Heaven Devil Talisman stronghold has become a holy land for cultivation, I'm afraid there will be even more forces coveting it. Do you have any good countermeasures?" Sitting at the top of the room, Yao Yunli asked for Emo Qingyun's opinion. Following Yao Yunli's words, the others showed the same expression. They wanted to hear Emo Qingyun's thoughts. Under everyone's gaze, Emo Qingyun fell silent for a moment and thought of a good countermeasure. He said, "Everyone, the spiritual energy in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold is too dense now. It will easily attract the attention of other forces. I think we should set up some defensive formations and illusory formations around the heavenly demon talisman stronghold to conceal the situation inside. This is a good idea. This way, the outside world will not know about the situation inside the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. This is a good idea, but we don't understand formations. How are we going to set up formations to conceal the heavenly demon talisman stronghold? I'm afraid it's too late to invite a formation master from the outside to set up a formation. It won't be long before the 9 great immortal gates will attack again. Not only that, even if we invite a formation master from the outside, it might not be a good thing. He might leak the news." At the thought of setting up formations, Yao Yunli and the others frowned. They felt a headache coming on. Looking at the bitter faces of Yao Yunli and the others, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly and comforted them. "Everyone, you don't have to worry about setting up formations. I know a little about formations. Leave it to me." "You know about formations?" Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Yao Yunli and the others were shocked. They did not expect Emo Qingyun to be so capable. After that, Emo Qingyun discussed with the others and went to set up formations. A portion of the formation materials came from the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, and a portion came from Mo Qingyun. Previously, he had obtained many formation materials from the Hundred Faces clan and the Pang clan. Now they came in handy. Seeing Mo Qingyun take out a large amount of materials to help the heavenly demon talisman stronghold set up formations, Yao Yunli and the others were grateful and emotional. The heavens are really blessing our heavenly demon talisman stronghold to allow a sect in the lower realm to accept such a disciple. With Mo Qingyun's powerful talent, as long as he doesn't die halfway, he will definitely lead the heavenly demon talisman stronghold to the peak. I've decided that once this matter is over, regardless of whether Mo Qingyun accepts it or not, he will pass the position of stronghold leader to him. This is a good idea. Although this can't keep Mo Qingyun, at least he will remember the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was setting up formations, Yao Yunli and the others pondered and made a decision silently. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. While Yao Yunli and the others were discussing, several figures flew over rapidly and stood in the sky above the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. According to the description on the map, the heavenly demon talisman stronghold should be here. How strange! How did the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, which was originally surrounded by farmland and straw huts, turn into a huge forest? Do you feel it? The spiritual energy in this forest is very dense. It's almost 10 times stronger than other places. That's indeed the case. If we cultivate here, I'm afraid we'll get twice the result with half the effort. Let's go down and take a look. We must occupy this place. After discussing for a while, they flew to the ground and saw the heavenly demon talisman stronghold in the forest. The heavenly demon talisman stronghold is actually hiding under this forest. Who did it? They actually changed the cultivation environment of the entire heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Looking at the scene in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, these people were shocked. They were in disbelief at the changes in the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Someone had entered the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Could it be that the people from the 9 great immortal gates had arrived? When the group of people entered the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, they were immediately discovered by Yao Yunli and the others, and they went to welcome them. Soon, Yao Yunli and the others saw the intruders and their expressions turned grave. The people from the 9 great immortal gates had arrived earlier than they had expected. Swoosh! Just when Yao Yunli and the others were feeling gloomy, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared beside them. Seeing Mo Qingyun appear beside them, Yao Yunli and the others tensed up. They turned their heads to look at Mo Qingyun and asked, "Qingyun, the people from the 9 great immortal gates have arrived earlier. What should we do now? Should we fight them directly? They actually came so quickly. It's a little out of my expectations." Looking at the people from the 9 great immortal sects in front of him, Mo Qingyun revealed a surprised expression. He then revealed a playful smile and said, "But this is also good. I just happen to lack some materials for refining arrays. I can use the materials from their sections. Let's do it." Chapter 1468. One by one, huge ghostly creatures appeared beside Mo Qingyun, emitting a terrifying aura. These ghostly creatures were summoned by Mo Qingyun and charged at the people of the 9 great immortal gates, displaying a barbaric and violent manner. What is that? It looks like a group of powerful ghostly creatures. Why would such things appear here? Could it be that the change in the environment of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold has attracted these things? Doesn't this mean that the people of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold have all left or were killed by these ghostly creatures? Seeing the sudden attack of countless ghostly creatures, the people of the 9 great immortal gates were shocked and began to speculate about various possibilities. However, before they could react, the ghostly creatures had already engulfed them and surrounded them in a frenzy. Bang bang bang, facing the frenzied attacks of the ghostly creatures, some of the people of the 9 great immortal gates were immediately injured and lost their ability to fight. At the same time, the constellation ghostly creature was also summoned by Mo Qingyun, emitting an intimidating aura. Constellation ghostly creature. Sensing the constellation ghostly creature's aura, Yao Yunli and the others' expressions immediately trembled and their eyes widened in shock. They originally thought that Mo Qingyun's ability to summon a constellation ghostly creature was already Mo Qingyun's limit. They did not expect that Mo Qingyun had been holding back all this time and could actually summon a constellation ghostly creature. Seeing Mo Qingyun summon a constellation ghostly creature and recalling Mo Qingyun's method of summoning ghostly creatures, Yao Yunli and the others finally believed that Wen Chang's claim that Mo Qingyun had killed a constellation ghostly creature was not false. Mo Qingyun could summon a constellation ghostly creature based on the level of the constellation ghostly creature he had killed. Now that he could summon a constellation ghostly creature, it naturally meant that he had killed a constellation ghostly creature. Sensing the constellation ghostly creature's aura, the people of the 9 great immortal gates were equally shocked and terrified. Constellation ghostly creature, everyone, retreat. How can this be? Why are there so many ghostly creatures here? I'm afraid that the people of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold have already died by the ghostly creatures. Sensing the constellation ghostly creature's aura, the people of the constellation ghostly creatures, the people of the 9 great immortal gates, they hurriedly fled out of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. The corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly when he saw that the people from the 9 sects were about to escape. He revealed a playful smile and said, "Although the formation is not complete, it should be able to trap them for a while." With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately activated the Sky Devil symbol stronghold's formation. Is the ghostly is alike the of immortal of the constellation gates. Formation? The ghostly creature knew about formations? The people of the constellation ghostly creature's great immortal gates were shocked when they saw the formation above the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. Doubt and confusion filled their hearts. In their opinion, the ghostly creature had low intelligence and only knew how to kill. It was impossible for it to know about formations. Therefore, it was strange for a formation to suddenly appear above the heavenly devil talisman stronghold. While the people of the 9 great immortal gates were puzzled, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and appeared above them. He said, "Everyone, seeing that we're all from the immortal path, I'll give you a chance to live. I hope you'll consider it carefully. Qingyun, you mustn't let the people of the 9 great immortal gates go. Otherwise, there'll be no end of trouble." Yao Yunli and the others were puzzled when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. They had no idea what Mo Qingyun was trying to do. They felt that this was the best time to destroy the 9 great immortal gates. Yet, Mo Qingyun wanted to give the people of the 9 great immortal gates a chance to live. This was too unreasonable. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he heard Yao Yunli and the others' words. He explained, "Chieftain, the heavenly devil talisman stronghold's foundation is too weak. With the heavenly devil talisman stronghold's current foundation, it's impossible to defend this place. Therefore, we need to strengthen the heavenly devil talisman stronghold's foundation and quickly increase its battle strength." Yao Yunli and the others were still puzzled. They waited for Mo Qingyun to explain in more detail. "I feel that instead of killing the people of the 9 great immortal gates, it's better to subdue all of them and make them vassals of the heavenly devil talisman stronghold." Mo Qingyun's idea was very simple. Now that the heavenly devil talisman stronghold's environment had changed, it would definitely attract the attention of many forces. In this way, the heavenly devil talisman stronghold's strength alone would not be enough to protect the stronghold. However, if they subdued the 9 great immortal gates and made them protect the heavenly devil talisman stronghold, things would be completely different. Yao Yunli and the others' eyes lit up when they heard Emo Qingyun's analysis. They understood what Emo Qingyun was trying to do. That's right. Killing the people of the 9 great immortal gates won't be of much use. Why don't we subdue them? When I think of these people of the 9 great immortal gates being at my beck and call in the future, I can't help but feel my blood boil. That's right. Killing them is too easy. Qin Yun's idea is really good. Yao Yunli and the others nodded when they learned of Emo Qingyun's plan. They all became excited. While Emo Qingyun and the others were talking, a gray-robed elder from the 9 great immortal gates looked coldly at Emo Qingyun and said, "Kid, I don't believe that you'll be so kind as to let us go. Tell us what you want." Straightforward. Emo Qingyun nodded in praise when he heard the gray-robed elder's words. He said in a deep voice, "My request is very simple. Open up your souls and let us plant a soul imprint in them. From now on, the 9 great immortal gates will submit to the heavenly devil talisman stronghold." "Impossible. Even if I die, you can forget about us submitting to you." A burly man with a curly beard was furious. He spoke with dissatisfaction, expressing his unwillingness to submit to Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun was not surprised when he saw the burly man's attitude. The smile on his face became even wider. Everything was within his expectations. If the other party submitted so easily, they would not be part of the 9 great immortal gate. Kill. Emo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with the burly man when he saw his attitude. He directly ordered the ghosts to continue their attack. The expressions of the people from the 9 great immortal gates changed when they were attacked by the ghosts again. They were shocked by Emo Qingyun's decisiveness. Logically speaking, if Emo Qingyun wanted to subdue them, he should have negotiated with them. But now, Emo Qingyun wanted to kill him without saying a word. His attitude was too domineering. Seeing Emo Qingyun attack without a word, the people from the 9 great immortal gates were miserable. They felt a strong sense of depression. This kid did not play by the rules. Faced with the frenzied massacre of the ghosts, the people from the 9 great immortal gates were immediately seriously injured and lost the ability to fight. Some of them were even killed by the ghosts and their bodies were smashed to pieces. Seeing this scene, some of the people from the 9 great immortal gates panicked and complained to the burly man. There were indeed people in this world who could not be slapped to death. However, there were still many people who were afraid of death. Seeing that some people were complaining about the burly man, others also began to complain. They blamed him for contradicting Emo Qingyun. Chapter 1469. Stop, stop. We'll submit. Don't kill me. I'm willing to submit to you. As long as you don't kill me, I'll do anything. Pleas for mercy reached Emo Qingyun's ears one after another. Hearing their pleas, Emo Qingyun ordered the ghosts to stop and looked down at the people of the 9 great immortal gate. Release your souls. Emo Qingyun glanced at the people from the 9 great immortal sects with a cold expression. He gave them orders directly. After giving the order to the people of the 9 great immortal gates, Emo Qingyun turned to Yao Yunli and the others and said in a low voice, "Fort Master, I can't stay here forever. I'll leave them to you." "All right." Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Yao Yunli and the others were delighted and excited. If Emo Qingyun subdued the people of the 9 great immortal gates, it would be troublesome for them to order the people of the 9 great immortal gates around. If they subdued the people of the 9 great immortal gates themselves, the situation would be different. While Emo Qingyun and the others were talking, the people of the 9 great immortal gates opened their souls and allowed Emo Qingyun to plant a soul imprint. Seeing the actions of the 9 great immortal sects, the bearded man was enraged. He shouted at the crowd, "How can you all be so cowardly? Rather than being enslaved by them, why don't we just die? That's right. Even if we die, we won't bow to them. I don't believe that he can really kill us all. Don't be afraid, everyone. Even if they want to kill us, they'll have to pay a huge price. Hearing the bearded man's words, everyone who wanted to resist voiced their agreement. Soon after, this person looked as if he was ready to die. It seemed like he was going to fight Mo Qingyun to the end. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Seeing the bearded man's actions, Mo Qingyun's face darkened, and he ordered the ghosts to attack them. Upon receiving Mo Qingyun's order, the ghosts immediately rushed towards the bearded man and the others, instantly surrounding them. Even the entire force of the 9 great immortal gates was no match for the ghost, not to mention these stray cats and dogs. Chi la, under the frenzied attacks of the ghosts, the bodies of several people were quickly torn to shreds, and their souls escaped from their bodies in terror. However, as soon as their souls escaped, they were captured by a black and white gourd. The bearded man panicked when he saw the people around him being killed one after another. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a pale face and said, Stop. Tell those ghosts to stop. We'll submit to you. Please spare our lives. Meng Qin, upon seeing the bearded man's actions, the people who were resisting glared at him angrily. This guy was too shameless. He was the one who instigated everyone to resist just now. Now that he saw death approaching, he immediately begged Mo Qingyun for mercy. His actions were simply going back on his word and going back on his word. Beg for mercy? Upon hearing the bearded man's words, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with mockery. He said coldly, I gave you a chance earlier, but you didn't cherish it. It's too late to beg for mercy now. Kill. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he ordered the ghosts to attack even more viciously. Following that, the ghostly beings exchanged lives with the curly-bearded man and the others. The bearded man and the others were far weaker than the ghosts to begin with. Now that the ghosts were fighting with all their might, they were naturally no match for them. Soon, the bearded man and the others were killed one after another. Each of them died with expressions of horror and unwillingness. In a short while, the bearded man and the others were all killed. The ground was dyed red with blood. Upon seeing the bearded man and the others' fates, the remaining people from the 9 great immortal gates trembled in fear. Their faces were pale and they didn't dare to resist anymore. They knew very well that with Mo Qingyun's decisive actions, if they dared to resist, Mo Qingyun would definitely not show them any mercy. Therefore, they didn't dare to take the risk. After all, the stakes were too high. It wasn't something they could afford. As the people from the 9 great immortal gates stopped resisting, Yao Yunli and the others planted soul marks in their souls. After Yao Yunli and the others subdued the people from the 9 great immortal gates, Mo Qingyun said with a solemn expression, Return to your respective sects and bring all the people in charge of your sects here. Yes. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the people from the 9 great immortal gates didn't dare to hesitate. They immediately did as Mo Qingyun said. Right now, their little lives were already in Mo Qingyun's hands. If they wanted to keep their lives, they had to do as Mo Qingyun said. After giving the orders to the people from the 9 great immortal gates, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more time and continued to set up the incomplete formation. Time passed bit by bit as Mo Qingyun set up the formation. Half a day later, according to Mo Qingyun's instructions, the people from the 9 great immortal gates who had left returned with the people in charge of their sections. They came pretty quickly. Looks like they know what's good for them. Seeing that the people from the 9 great immortal gates had arrived, Mo Qingyun smiled with satisfaction. He had achieved his goal. These people who had arrived at the heavenly demon talisman stronghold were naturally subdued by Yao Yunli and the others. Soon after, the entire 9 great immortal gates was completely under the control of Yao Yunli and the others. After taking control of the 9 great immortal gates, Emo Qingyun ordered them to return and move their sects to the periphery of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Qingyun, are you planning to let the 9 great immortal gates surround the heavenly demon talisman stronghold to increase its defense? Seeing Emo Qingyun's arrangement, Yao Yunli and the others were shocked. They immediately guessed Emo Qingyun's plan. If everything went smoothly, the defense of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold would become impregnable. After instructing the people from the 9 great immortal gates to return and move their sects to the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, Emo Qingyun continued to set up the formation. While Emo Qingyun was setting up the formation, the people from the 9 great immortal gates had all moved to the heavenly demon talisman stronghold and built their sects around it. After the people from the 9 great immortal gates arrived, Emo Qingyun took a lot of materials from them to set up the formation. With the materials from the 9 great immortal gates, Emo Qingyun's setting up of the formation became unusually smooth. He set up a comprehensive formation that was a combination of offense, defense, and illusion. After setting up the formation of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold, Emo Qingyun did not leave immediately. He decided to refine some pills for the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. He had a lot of pill refining materials on him now. Since they were just sitting there, he might as well increase the strength of the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. With that thought in mind, Emo Qingyun got Yao Yunli to arrange a place for him to cultivate so that he could fully immerse himself in pill refining. When Yao Yunli heard Emo Qingyun's request, he was pleasantly surprised. He hurriedly arranged a place for Emo Qingyun to refine pills. He really did not expect that Emo Qingyun actually knew alchemy. This surprised him too much. Walking into the place that Yao Yunli arranged, Emo Qingyun did not delay and immediately entered the 5 directions small pagoda to refine pills. After that, Emo Qingyun wholeheartedly refined pills to help the heavenly demon talisman stronghold increase their strength. As for the people from the 9 great immortal gates, they built their sects outside the heavenly demon talisman stronghold. Chapter 1470. While Emo Qingyun was refining pills, Wu Yu finished his recovery. Young Lord actually knows how to refine pills. His alchemy skills aren't low either. Seeing Emo Qingyun refining pills, Wu Yu was surprised. He didn't expect Emo Qingyun to have such skills. Soon after, Wu Yu became interested and silently watched Emo Qingyun refine pills. The more Wu Yu watched Emo Qingyun refine pills, the more shocked he became. He was even more surprised at Emo Qingyun's alchemy talent. Young Lord's alchemy talent is so strong. It seems to be even stronger than Wu Xing's. When Wu Yu saw Emo Qingyun's alchemy talent, he compared Emo Qingyun to Wu Xing and obtained a terrifying result. After learning about Emo Qingyun's alchemy talent, an idea popped up in Wu Yu's mind. He muttered to himself with anticipation, with young Lord's alchemy talent, if I teach him the alchemy techniques of the Witch Doctor clan, he might be able to bring them to greater heights. With this idea in mind, Wu Yu no longer hesitated and decided to teach Emo Qingyun the alchemy techniques of the Witch Doctor clan. While Wu Yu waited, time slowly passed by. After an unknown amount of time, Emo Qingyun's pills were finally refined. Boom. The instant the pill was successfully refined, a strange scene of thunderclouds appeared above Emo Qingyun. Seeing this scene, Wu Yu's expression immediately changed. He said excitedly, "It seems that I have underestimated young Lord's alchemy talent. I didn't expect him to be able to refine a Tier 3 immortal pill with his immortal infant stage cultivation. Moreover, he even caused an elixir phenomenon to appear." While Wu Yu was still in shock, Emo Qingyun opened the cauldron and placed the pills into a jade bottle. "Young Lord, this old man has something to discuss with you." Seeing Emo Qingyun put away the pills, Wu Yu immediately transmitted a message to Emo Qingyun to prevent Emo Qingyun from starting a new round of refining pills. Wu Yu has recovered. Hearing Wu Yu's words in his mind, Emo Qingyun immediately revealed a surprised expression. He moved Wu Yu out of the Soul Star and asked, "What do you want to discuss with me? Do you need some cultivation materials?" "No." Wu Yu shook his head and denied Emo Qingyun's guess. "And he said, Young lord, you should know that the Witch Doctor clan is a clan that specializes in alchemy. I see your alchemy talent. Perhaps you can inherit our alchemy techniques. Are you interested in learning to refine to learn alchemy? You want to teach me alchemy?" Hearing Wu Yu's words, Emo Qingyun's face lit up. He was overjoyed. Although Wu Yu had become his star general, he could use the connection between him and his star general to directly possess Wu Yu's medicine refining skills. But when all was said and done, Wu Yu's situation was special. Emo Qingyun and he already had an agreement, not treating him as a star general. Therefore, without Wu Yu's promise, Emo Qingyun would not take the initiative to borrow Wu Yu's alchemy technique. Furthermore, Wu Yu's body was still very weak. Emo Qingyun would not be able to borrow Wu Yu's alchemy technique. Therefore, if Emo Qingyun wanted to use Wu Yu's alchemy techniques, he would have to learn them himself. "That's right." Wu Yu nodded solemnly when he heard Emo Qingyun's confirmation. "I believe that with your young master's amazing talent, it won't be long before you become a Grade 4 Celestial Alchemist." Tier 4 Alchemy Master? Hearing Wu Yu's words, Emo Qingyun's face immediately lit up. His eyes were filled with anticipation. Because he did not have anyone to guide him in alchemy, his alchemy skills had been progressing very slowly. He was still a Tier 3 Alchemy Master. If he could receive Wu Yu's guidance and improve his alchemy skills, it would naturally be for the best. One had to know that Emo Qingyun had a lot of alchemy materials on him. However, due to his limited abilities, he could not use them. If he could refine a Tier 4 Immortal Pill, he would be able to increase the strength of the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold by several folds in a short period of time. Emo Qingyun exchanged a few words with Wu Yu and asked Wu Yu to guide him in alchemy. Seeing that Emo Qingyun was interested, Wu Yu was naturally very happy. He began to guide Emo Qingyun in alchemy. Alchemy and alchemy were essentially the same. They were both about extracting the essence of spiritual objects and making them easier for people to absorb. Because Emo Qingyun had a foundation in alchemy, his alchemy skills could be said to have improved by leaps and bounds. Most of the time, he could even draw inferences about other things from one example, making his learning efficiency double with half the effort. Of course, even though alchemy and alchemy were similar, they also had some differences. The pills refined by the alchemy technique had a gentler medicinal effect and were easier to absorb. However, comparatively speaking, the medicinal power of the pill was slightly weaker and not as violent as the medicinal pill. After listening to Wu Yu's explanation, Emo Qingyun did not want to waste any more time and immediately prepared to try refining pills. A pill cauldron is obviously not enough to refine pills. I must prepare a medicinal cauldron. Thinking about how he needed to prepare a medicinal cauldron to practice alchemy, Emo Qingyun could not help but feel a headache coming on. Now that he was in the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, he had to find a medicinal cauldron. Not far from the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold, there is a medicinal cauldron in my clan's medicinal cauldron. I will bring you to dig it out now. Seeing Emo Qingyun's worry and apprehension, Wu Yu instructed Emo Qingyun and prepared to bring Emo Qingyun to dig out the medicinal cauldron. Wait. Seeing Wu Yu walking forward, Emo Qingyun called out to him and said, "Right now we are in a spatial treasure. Without me you will not be able to leave this place." Spatial treasure? Wu Yu's expression froze. His gaze immediately changed as he looked at Emo Qingyun. Spatial treasures were extremely rare. Even the most ordinary spatial treasures were not easy to come across. Although the one in Mo Qingyun's hand was not very high grade, it was still a relatively complete spatial treasure. With Mo Qingyun's immortal infant stage cultivation, it was very surprising that he was able to obtain such a treasure. Mo Qingyun was very curious about the origins of the 5-directional small pagoda and the Hall of Heixian. He had once asked Heixian about the origins of the Hall of Heixian and the 5-directional small pagoda. However, Heixian only told him that the Hall of Heixian and the 5-directional small pagoda were obtained from a secret realm by the master of the 5-directional small pagoda. As for how they came to be, Heixian was not very clear in his heart. Regarding this, Mo Qingyun could only feel helpless. He would have to slowly figure it out in the future. While Wu Yu was still in shock, Mo Qingyun brought him out of the 5-directional small pagoda in a flash. "Follow me." After coming out of the 5-directional small pagoda, Wu Yu led the way and brought Mo Qingyun to dig up a medicinal cauldron. Wu Yu was very familiar with the Heavenly Devil Talisman stronghold. Even Yao Yunli and the others could not compare to him. Under Wu Yu's guidance, Mo Qingyun and Wu Yu arrived in front of a 10,000-foot tall cliff after many turns. Standing in front of the cliff, Wu Yu scanned the surroundings, then walked towards a collapsed cave and said, "This used to be my clan's medicine cellar. My clan's pill cauldron is inside. Let's go in." Chapter 1471. The interior of the cave was very spacious. Although many places had collapsed, one could still see how magnificent it used to be. After Wu Yu entered the cave, his footsteps didn't stop as he walked down the stone stairs in the cave. As he walked down the stairs, a huge cellar gradually appeared in front of Mo Qingyun's eyes. Inside the cellar, there were many wooden shelves of different shape. On top of these shelves, there were many plants that had turned into sand. Presumably, these desertified plants used to be some spirit grasses and spirit trees. Because they had been shelved for too long, the medicinal power contained in them had all dissipated. Wu Yu walked into the cellar, pushed aside a wooden shelf, and quickly formed a hand seal. A grass-shaped hand seal formed in Wu Yu's hand and was pushed into the wall behind the wooden shelf. Buzz, as the hand seal was pushed into the wall, a stream of light bloomed on the wall and green vines grew out. These vines grew out and weaved into a vine door. "Let's go in." Seeing the vine door formed, Wu Yu instructed Mo Qingyun and walked in. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and followed him through the vine door. As soon as Mo Qingyun entered the vine door, he felt the surrounding temperature rise by dozens of times. The temperature here is so high. Sensing the surrounding temperature, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was very surprised by this turn of events. Hearing Mo Qingyun's shocked words, Wu Yu smiled faintly and explained, "At the bottom of this stone room, there is a huge fire spiritual vein that constantly emits the power of fire." Fire spiritual vein. Hearing Wu Yu's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed and his emotions rose and fell like a stormy sea. A spiritual vein was an extraordinary thing. Its value was enough to make a golden immortal expert go crazy. One must know that even with the strength of the Eternal South Immortal Palace, they had never controlled a spiritual vein. The spiritual vein of the Witch Doctor tribe was obviously not an ordinary spiritual vein. Its value was at least several times that of an ordinary spiritual vein. It was even possible that it was dozens of times more valuable. The cauldron of inheritance is underground. Let's dig it out, Wu Yu explained to Mo Qingyun. He didn't want to waste any more time and urged Mo Qingyun to start digging the cauldron. "All right." Mo Qingyun nodded and took out the immortal burning war halberd, preparing to use it to dig the cauldron. As Mo Qingyun dug, a huge green cauldron appeared before his eyes. "Found it." Seeing the huge green cauldron in front of him, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy. He quickly took out the medicinal cauldron. When Mo Qingyun took out the medicine cauldron, he saw 4 simple and unadorned words on its surface. Ink Qilin Medicinal Cauldron. Looking at the words on the medicine cauldron, Mo Qingyun released a trace of soul force to sense the medicine cauldron. Roar. When Mo Qingyun sensed the inky Qilin medicine cauldron, a violent beast roar suddenly appeared in his consciousness. Under the impact of the beast roar, Mo Qingyun was immediately pushed back, a look of shock appearing on his face. When the beast roared just now, he could clearly feel that a pitch-black demonic beast had appeared in his mind. Wu Yu, could the inky Qilin medicine cauldron's artifact soul be recalling the figure that appeared in his mind? Mo Qingyun's face was filled with shock as he looked at Wu Yu in disbelief. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had guessed the inky Qilin medicine cauldron's artifact soul, Wu Yu didn't deny it. He nodded and said, "That's right. The inky Qilin medicine cauldron's artifact soul is indeed the soul of an inky Qilin. It really is the soul of a Qilin divine beast." Although Mo Qingyun had already guessed it, he still couldn't help but be shocked when he heard it from Wu Yu's mouth. This was a divine beast that only existed in the desolate era. Don't think too much. Now, I'll help you refine the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Looking at the shocked Mo Qingyun, Wu Yu urged him to refine the inky Qilin medicine cauldron immediately. Okay. Hearing Wu Yu's words, Mo Qingyun nodded and began to restrain his thoughts. Soon after, Mo Qingyun forced out a drop of blood essence and seeped it into the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. When the blood essence seeped into the inky Qilin medicine cauldron, Mo Qingyun released a surge of immortal spiritual energy and seeped it into the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Roar. Sensing the external energy seeping into the inky Qilin medicine cauldron, the Qilin artifact soul roared furiously and attacked Mo Qingyun's divine soul. Under the brutal attack of the Qilin artifact soul, Mo Qingyun's face suddenly turned pale. His consciousness became a little dizzy, and the blood in his body began to surge. Seeing Mo Qingyun's state, Wu Yu didn't dare to hesitate and immediately helped Mo Qingyun. He shouted, "Suppress it for me." Under Wu Yu's suppression, the Qilin artifact soul became a little more obedient, giving Mo Qingyun a chance to catch his breath. "I can't suppress it for long. Quickly refine a part of the inky Qilin medicine cauldron." After Wu Yu suppressed the Qilin artifact soul, he revealed an anxious expression and hurriedly urged Mo Qingyun. Hearing Wu Yu's words, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless and immediately immersed himself in refining the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Under Mo Qingyun's wholehearted refining, the Qilin artifact soul's power was gradually disintegrated and the inky Qilin medicine cauldron was gradually refined by Mo Qingyun. 5%, 10%, 20%. As time passed, Mo Qingyun refined more and more of the inky Qilin medicine cauldron and the Qilin artifact soul's resistance became weaker and weaker. When Mo Qingyun had refined 40% of the inky Qilin medicine cauldron, Wu Yu finally couldn't suppress it any longer and withdrew his spiritual energy from the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Roar. Without Wu Yu's suppression, the Qilin artifact soul became violent again and attacked Mo Qingyun's spiritual energy madly. Facing the Qilin artifact soul's frenzied attacks, Mo Qingyun's spiritual energy was immediately injured and his face became even paler. Sealed door. At this moment, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately used sealed door on the Qilin artifact soul. After being attacked by sealed door, the Qilin artifact soul became more obedient and its attack power weakened. "I must refine the inky Qilin medicine cauldron while the Qilin artifact soul is still weak." Facing the Qilin artifact soul's attacks, Mo Qingyun revealed a determined expression and clenched his teeth. Under Mo Qingyun's perseverance, he refined more and more of the inky Qilin medicine cauldron and gradually gained control of the situation. 50%, 60%, 65%. As the inky Qilin medicine cauldron continued to be refined, the Qilin artifact soul's resistance became weaker and weaker. Its influence on Emo Qingyun also became lower and lower. Phew! I've finally refined it. After a few hours, Emo Qingyun heaved a sigh of relief and revealed a surprised smile. He had finally refined the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Of course, what surprised Emo Qingyun the most was, during the process of refining the inky Qilin medicine cauldron, his cultivation had increased by quite a bit with the help of the residual medicinal power in the inky Qilin medicine cauldron. Now, his spiritual energy cultivation had already reached the late immortal infant stage and was much closer to the true immortal stage. Since I've obtained the cauldron, let's leave this place. Seeing that the inky Qilin medicine cauldron had been refined, Emo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer and prepared to go back and try refining medicine. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.